ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing? I say ladies and gentlemen. It's pretty much just gentlemen, isn't it? Let's not kid ourselves.
Sausage party up in here.
Yeah. I'm joined by Dr. Tanistrophius and Wedge. How are you both doing? On this
I'm great. Happy to be here.
Good. Just wanted to
I'm
chat
sad as fuck. Thanks, Jack.
Well, there goes my monetization. Thanks, man. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, no.
You can fucking swear if you want to. It doesn't bother me one bit. Big Shark, thank you very much for the $2 tip. Instantly, right out the gate. So generous. Kim just flashing the cash. I'm just going to switch a light on because it's very dark in this room, and then when I start painting, my blue and face gets lit up and I'm already pale enough. 1 second.
So while we have a break in the stream, everybody take a moment to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and hit that like button if you are so inclined.
Smash it, like button. No worries, Gary. He says he's not going to be here long. Right, so what are we doing today? So I did this frame last week of the gang all looking a bit rough. And some of you might notice that I actually changed Hank's top. And I added some plasters onto Victor. I wanted to rough them up a bit. The reason I've changed Hank's top is in the story. I'll give you a bit of backstory. I don't know if I'm going to write this in dialogue. But obviously, those of you who've watched previous live streams might have been there for when I drew Hank pulling Rose out of the... Well, it was Jude pulling Rose out of the water, but Hank was in the water because he dived in to get her. So the idea is that because Hank didn't bring much stuff to stay in episode 1, his dad has let him borrow one of his shirts. So he's got like one of his dad's undershirt on. That's the idea. But speaking of those characters, so I've taken this bit of the background over here, blown it up, I've tweaked it a bit so it's at a bit of a different angle already, and we're going to be doing them close up. So Victor and Hank are who we're going to be working on tonight. Because with this frame that I'm working on, I'm going to be doing close-ups of basically all the characters and maybe like 3 or 4 versions of each character, and then when I come to do the dialogue, I'll be able to stick it all together and get all the emotions. The only one we probably won't get any dialogue from in this scene is Jude. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today, is working on Victor and Hank. And I'm just looking for a good one of Hank.
What's he got to contribute anyway? He just showed up.
He went there to get his dad. Yeah, and I came up with another scene with Blum and Hank and his dad in the shower the other day. I was that sounds kind of rude, but I was I was in the shower, and then I was like, oh, they should say this, and that'd make a really good piece of character development. So I've now got to add a whole new scene into episode 4 that I didn't have planned previously. Well, actually, tell a lie. The scene was planned, but it was more for episode 5. But I've actually realised that I could put it in episode 4, and it would be much better.
You got to preserve the original integrity. Release the Ewan's cut. Put it in episode 5.
Well, the reason I would need this scene in episode 4 is because I feel like the payoff, it sets up something that gets paid off in episode 5, and it's like it would actually be better if you didn't set up and pay off in one episode, is my logic. So I'm trying to think like, okay, I need to have this set up like as early as possible, even though it can't come any earlier than where it is in episode 4.
Nice. That's just building up hype. I can't wait to see what the payoff is.
Oh, yeah, me too. Hopefully we'll get there one day. It's so far away.
I bet you it's emotional and heartwarming.
Just like Life as a House, hey? How was Life as a House? Give me a rundown, because we talked briefly about it just before we came on. For those of you that don't know, Life as a House is one of my favourite movies, and Dr. Tanistrophius has been on a mission and watched it just before we went live. he finished it as we were moments away from going live. So, what did you think? Give me a rundown.
I would give it sad Wojak out of 10.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely little film. I thought a couple things were a little silly, but it didn't get in the way of the message and all the feels and all the emotional hugs were earned.
Yeah. What did you think of the comedy? Because it's a funnier movie than I was expecting when I first watched it, with the premise that it's.
It didn't make me laugh out loud in that sense. Like, I don't know, the comedy didn't ring as hard. It might come on a second viewing, but
I was gonna say, because the comedy for me is more like, what's the way of putting this? It's like, it's very real. So it's not like it's not a film that's actually gunning for like laugh out loud comedy. It's more character driven. Like it's funny because like a character will say something, you'll be like, that's so them, or if you get what I mean by that.
Was the Graduate subplot really necessary? But again, these are minor nitpicks. All in all,
between the mum and the mum and the dude who goes on his bike,
the wannabe pimp.
Yeah. Was it necessary? I think so. I think because it ties into the comeuppance for that character, and also the mum and her relationship to the daughter. But yeah, I don't know. It's again, this isn't a film like I've thought about it as much as like Jurassic Park or anything. So I might come across some thoughts that I have about it that I haven't thought about previously. If we dissect it, but I don't know. Basically, people will have to watch it, and then they'd know what we're talking about. But it's quite a loose topic to talk about because.
But yeah, Mr. Hayden Christensen acted his fucking heart out, and his skills were on full display. And I don't mean that in an underhanded tone. I mean that in like his real talents were actually utilized.
Yeah,
agreed.
He plays the like angry teenager very well, and it's better than Star Wars in terms of like Anakin's all angsty and stuff, and some people can really take the mick out of it, like the whole I don't like sand thing. But in this, he does that sort of thing, but it actually is really good.
Yeah, it's like because in the prequels they try to do it in a very like Shakespearean, like sort of tragic way, while in this movie it was a lot more real, which made it better.
Yeah, it makes me wonder why they didn't go for that sort of thing with Darth Vader in the prequels, but that's a whole different other topic. But the whole I don't want to really go down that rabbit hole. But the whole he's a loser in the opening of the movie. That's the whole point. It's like he's just a loser. He thinks he's cool, but he's not. And then he basically learns to become a human, essentially.
He gets a job, becomes less of a slacker.
Good. That's what you should do. Get a job. Get some blooming hairs on your chest. I'm just trying to make Hank look concerned.
Harrison asks if you guys saw the Florida Project.
No.
I'm not even sure what that is.
What's this?
Does that have anything to do with Project X?
Mikey says Jude comes across as the silent type. Perhaps he prefers shooting his gun than chatting. Maybe. Big Shark says in the Pterodome cut we get a scene of Turner throwing stuff in the tanny paddock. Yes. Just seeing. Imagine if in episode 1, says Gary, somebody had an allergic reaction to the smell of burning tobacco while Hank was smoking. Mikey says Turner is so big that he could strangle one tanny, but there's a group, so he's outnumbered. Damn straight. Hello, Cretaceous Hunted. Cretaceous Handed also says 5 more days until Godzilla vs. Kong come out. I know some people have seen it already, so I don't know. I just don't want anyone to spoil it in the chat, but I'm just worried about some feckin' troll coming in to say something.
Were either of your YouTube feeds literally spammed with spoiler clips?
No.
Oh, they were all over mine. I could not avoid them.
I on Instagram, I saw something bloody Legendary themselves posted something, and I was like, "Why the f did you just post that?" Because that was just confirmation of something I didn't know was in the film or not. And I guess because of spoilers, they've just gone and announced something, and I'm just really pissed off that I know that that's in the movie now. It's like, for God's sake.
The Chinese trailer.
I haven't seen any other trailers other than the first one, so it's no trailers. Yeah. It's just something they posted, and I was like, "Oh, for God's sake!" But I'm just like very cautious of the chat tonight.
Unfitted Rogue, is that the guy from the Gorillas? He kind of looks like it with the dead eyes.
It's because I'm trying to work out something. The shirt. Wait, what do I need all these other characters for? Get rid of all these ones because I only need the other 2. Boom.
Also, shout out to Life is a House for putting a Limp Bizkit song as a front and center mood piece.
I know, right? It's got a good soundtrack.
And they managed to pick the one good one.
Okay, Hank. Cigarette. Initiated. And now I need to change his shirt. Okay, I hate doing stuff like this, but it has to be done for the good of the show.
Godspeed, Gary. We will catch you in the future.
Yes.
See you, Gary.
Cheers for coming on. Yeah, you also checked out Hearts of Atlantis, right?
Yes, I did watch Hearts in Atlantis, and that was also a lovely film. I feel like with a lot of Stephen King stories, especially by the end, I'm like, okay, there's another act to this, isn't there? And there wasn't, which I would have appreciated. So as headcanon, I just kind of filled in that it's a prequel to Red Dragon, and it still works.
Well, I haven't seen Red Dragon, so I'm going to have to imagine what that must be like. I know it's a Hannibal story.
Red Dragon's good. I never watched the show, but in terms of a follow-up to Silence of the Lambs, it's undeniably a classic. Red Dragon holds its own.
Yeah, I mean, I found out because someone, was it Sickle Claw in the Discord, basically said that it had the book had ties to the Dark Tower. I had no idea about that. Like, I was just like, okay, it's Hearts of Atlantis, it's fine. But as it is, all this connection, I'm like, I don't really care about that. I just like Hearts of Atlantis as a standalone movie. I think it's really good.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Especially with the, I want to call it the denouement, but I don't know if that's technically what it is. When all the bad shit happens in that movie, it felt calculated around that moment. Which
what was that? When the kid goes to collect the money, and then the low men turn up.
No, before that, with the mom. The attack on the girl and the mom.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm with you.
The movie, in retrospect, felt geared around that moment and how everyone would respond to it, which isn't. The way I stated that makes it sound like a criticism. It's not.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It was a really well-arranged little diorama of a world that I would have liked to know more on, but asking more out of Stephen King is always a tricky proposition.
Well, I don't know how much involvement he had in the movie. Yeah, that much I don't know. So whether that's a reflection on the book itself, I don't know. But
I mean, Anthony Hopkins carries that movie.
He does, and
not-
and Anton Jelkovic,
Yeah,
because he's like super young in that movie, and I think he does a really good job.
And not annoying.
Yeah, really good. I can't remember who else is in that film. Well, there's one of the guys. There's a guy at the circus, he's doing that cup game. That actor is like,
yeah,
he's like a cameo, but he's really big.
The guy from Firefly and
Nathan Fillion.
I believe that's him. Yeah, he's the card thrower. The thing that annoyed me about that scene is I've watched a lot of Penn and Teller. I've watched a lot of variations on that trick, and whoever was in charge of that movie should have thrown in a few more hand moves because they were just showing the same card sequence shuffle clip over and over and over again, not making it really special. And I know Stephen King wrote that scene like he's doing tricky hand shit, and that guy just doesn't do enough tricky hand. He doesn't do any tricky hand shit. Let's just be flat out about it.
Yeah,
but that's just set dressing. That's just detail. It doesn't truly detract from the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
If anything, it raised my curiosity enough to look at the book, which I'm sure would answer a few more of the questions about, like, okay, so what was going on with his real dad? Because it felt like they were building to something there, and it just teetered off.
Yeah. So I'm just looking for a character. Where is he? Where are you? Oh wait, I think I already put that in there. Where is he? No, I don't need that one. Maybe I need to just keep this one and just redo it. Yeah, I'm probably just going to do that actually. So bear with me, guys.
I also checked out Alive from Godsmack off of their hit album Awake.
You checked out Alive? What, the movie?
No, I did watch the movie, but I was making a joke.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Shout out to mid-90s era Godsmack.
Godsmack. Rings a bell. Don't know what it is, though.
I'm alive for you, I'm awake.
Is it a song?
The Scorpion King?
No.
Man, that's
I think I watched The Scorpion King once, and I thought it was shit. So I never went back to it. This is where you learn I'm uneducated on a lot of things.
Is Godsmack new metal? I don't know if they count as new metal, but they're like mid-metal. They're verging on like pagan melody metal, because I know they touch on that shit, but they don't commit to it like a lot of other bands.
Pagan melody metal.
Yeah, they do a lot of like drum circle arrangement type things, which is really cool, but we're getting off topic here. Alive was fine. As soon as I got halfway through the movie, I'm like, I know this. I've watched documentaries about this air crash.
Yeah. I find that film fascinating just because, like, Frank Marshall directed it. It was like one of his directed movies. I think did he do Arachnophobia as well, or am I just misremembering?
Well, let's just give it an old Google search.
Give it a goog. Mikey asks in the chat, was Kong meant to be a teenager in Skull Island and he's older in Godzilla vs. Kong? I don't know if he's meant to be a teenager, he's just not fully grown. That's how they say it. So I don't know whether that means he's a teenager or if he's an adult who's still growing. He did do Arachnophobia, says Harrison.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the only two Frank Marshall films I know, so maybe there's others that I've seen.
and especially rang home to me as a Catholic. They went to a lot of the old school prayers. Well, a couple anyway.
What, in Alive?
Having a yeah.
Alive.
Actually, not too long ago, the actual survivors from that crash went back to the crash site and visited the memorial and everything.
Dang.
They went in summer, so it's not a snow-top hellscape. Yeah. And they had gear and took horses and everything. Yeah, it was an event.
Yeah. It'd be like, we brought some food this time. Yep, we've definitely got food this time. Okay.
And from everything I understand about the event, like fairly point by point accurate, which I'll give any movie that aims to tell a historical story, if they veer towards accuracy, for in other cases what would be the loss of like narrative drive or like movie momentum. I still give it credit for that. And Alive didn't suffer for being factually on point at all. But I give it bonus points for doing so.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons I really liked it. Was that the commentary. No, is it the commentary? I can't remember now. It might have been a documentary I watched. Was talking about how accurate it is and stuff. It's kind of like Apollo 13. It's a similar sort of thing. Apollo 13 is rather relatively accurate because the commentary for that film has Jim Lovell, who Tom Hanks' character plays. It actually has the astronaut doing the commentary for the film, and he sort of points out where things went different, and it's quite rare. He's like, yeah, it's pretty on point.
Another movie that surprised me with how accurate it was Deepwater Horizon. And that movie got a lot of crap because it was just a Marky Mark vehicle.
I haven't seen it.
It's good. It's good.
I heard it was good. I actually heard that one was good. Wait, where are we looking?
Don't go in expecting an exact 3-act structure because it definitely breaks from that. But I mean, Kurt Russell alone, I'd show, and Ethan Suplee, supporting character, fucking excellent character actor. Love him and everything he's in. If you don't recognize the name Ethan Suplee, I'll send you a picture and you'll be like, that guy.
Ethan Suplee. Send me a picture. It's not ringing a bell. Who said that in the chat? Unfitted Rogue says, have y'all seen They Live? Great film. Yeah, of course. Amazing movie.
Oh, yeah, classic. Who are you talking to, bro?
Have you seen They Live, Wedge?
Oh yeah, I love that movie. It's like one of my favorite John Carpenter films.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who doesn't like that movie.
Well, for me, I actually watched it at first only because I heard it had Roddy Piper in it. Being like a wrestling fan at the time, I was like, okay, I gotta see it for Roddy Piper. But then I was like, oh my god, this movie's amazing.
Movie? It's exactly like real. It's just real life.
Oh yeah, it's kind of scary how we're pretty much living it.
I saw a great breakdown of They Live on YouTube not too long ago that was talking about how the aliens in it aren't the oppressors. Because a lot of people think
really? How is it trying to spin that?
Well, because it says that if you notice, a lot of the aliens are doing jobs that otherwise no one else would do, and it's not actually. So the aliens are like normal people as well, and so I can't remember the specifics now, but there's a moment in the film where one of the aliens gives away that it doesn't know that it's what's going on, and so the idea is it's not actually the aliens have taken over Earth. It's that the elite class, which is made up of aliens and humans, have been in communication for some years, and they've created this falsehood. So it's actually the elite class of aliens who are, and humans who are in on it, rather than all the aliens are in on it and the humans don't know.
So what you're saying is there's a global cabal of elites
yes,
who are in control of media.
Yes, exactly. It's Alex Jones's wet dream of a movie. Although he'd probably go, that movie, that's part of the elite.
It's a smoke screen.
They've been warning us for years what they're doing. They're telling it to our goddamn faces. I should probably be quiet. The baby's trying to sleep. Oh, dear.
One of these days, I'll make a proper Alex Jones soundboard, and we'll really turn this show into a shit show.
I feel like there's already an AI, like the Hammond one. You just gotta find it.
Yeah.
You can really make him say anything.
That man, what a hero. Oh, that's my channel.
What movie
Yeeted
are
off
we-
YouTube. What were you saying? What movie? What?
Harrison McCarthy asked, "Hold up, what movie are we talking about?" Big Shark came in. They live.
They live. Everybody wants a taste of the good life.
In terms of aliens, one design I had always gravitated to in one form or another was the Warhammer idea that aliens show up and they're just more people. They're like, hey, guess what? This little backwater planet, you're part of the Empire again. Get in line. And what we thought was this golden age of enlightenment was just
Nothing.
dirt ignorance. We have no idea the horrors that await us in deep space.
Oh, what was it? I watched Signs the other night. So I'll go through some of the films we watched this week, me and my wife, because we go through. We forgot to watch Who Killed Captain Alex. So my apologies. We should have been watching that, but I just completely forgot.
It's okay. You can wait.
But we watched Signs, which I hadn't watched in a few years, or a good number of years. I liked it. I thought it was good. It felt like M. Night Shyamalan doing like building up to Lady in the Water, that style. I'm pretty sure people prefer Signs over Lady in the Water. But it kind of reminded me a lot of that movie. And I was like, yeah, it feels like a pre-Lady in the Water movie. What else did we watch? Oh, we watched The Golden Voyage of Sinbad today while the baby was sleeping, because she does these hour-and-a-half naps in the morning, and it's like perfect movie time. So like after we put her down, we have a little moment and watch a movie.
The animated one or the really, really old one?
The Ray Harryhausen version, the live action from the 70s. I'm guessing that's the old one. What else did we watch? Can't remember now.
That final moment in Signs is such an excellent musical stinger note, an execution of all the themes that, at least for a first-time viewer, I remember being blown away at like all of the little details in this movie folding together into that one moment where Joaquin Phoenix beats the hell out of the damn alien with a baseball bat.
That's what I mean by the Lady in the Water thing, because that's what happens in Lady in the Water. The same sort of thing. It's like loads of characters. You're working out how do they connect? How are they all gonna work together? And then boom, something happens. You're like, and that's how they all connect. And then when I watched this, I was like, oh yeah, same thing, but a bit more refined, a bit less convoluted.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan should keep his self-inserts as panicking guys in the closet.
Yeah. What else did we watch this week? I swear I've forgotten.
a YouTuber by the name of This Is Anti-Logic made a video about signs, connecting it as a prequel to The Happening, that the chemical that the aliens were using was a prototype version of the quote-unquote plant emission or chemical that was never properly identified in that film to make people commit suicide. And it was a bit of a stretch, but I dug what he was digging at.
Yeah. I still haven't seen The Happening. I'll have to watch that one at some point. I know it's hilarious. That's all I know about it, is it's funny, because it's like weird and bad.
Yeah, but again, Marky Mark, that juicy hunk of man meat.
What's your favorite Marky Mark movie?
Oh man, I don't know. The Happening kind of is up there. If only because I can't in good conscience recommend the Transformers one with the legal statutory rape subplot. Like,
It's fair enough.
I always liked the other guys.
The Other Guys is a good shout.
I forgot about that. That's one of the few Will Ferrell movies I like.
I like him in The Departed. He's good in that. Although
Yeah,
he's
he
not in
wasn't
it.
He wasn't the best part of that movie, though.
No. Well, there's one Marky Mark film that I'm missing, and I'm like, it's on the tip of my tongue, and I'm like, that's the one. Fuck. I have to think. And it's not Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights makes me want to kill myself.
Yeah, it's not that one. Speaking of aliens, come on guys, let's go down the alien rabbit hole. What do you think? What do you think about aliens? What do you think about the UFOs? What do you think of what's going on there?
I feel like there's something out there. Like, there definitely is life. Maybe not like to the extent of what we see in sci-fi, but like, there's got to be something out there.
Interesting.
Like, I would imagine they're like sort of in our situation where they don't have the means to travel, and they're just far away enough that they can't even detect us either.
Yeah, that's what Brian Cox said on Joe Rogan. He was talking about how like the space is so vast. It's just ridiculous to even imagine that we'd even be in communication with aliens, because it just takes so long to bloody get anywhere. Oh, you're roboting. He roboted. And the aliens have got him. There we go. That was the end of Dr. Stanistrophius. Wouldn't carbon have to be a factor for any alien life, says Unfitted Rogue? Yeah, potentially. Well, I mean, if it's alien, I mean, we can't describe it. It's alien to us, so I don't know. I've got my own thoughts on it, but I'll wait to see what's going on with Wedge. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. Just I'm trying to
You're roboting
sound like
too.
an idiot. Oh,
No, you're both
okay,
roboting.
hold on.
What's going on? Oh, that actor. Okay,
Have I improved?
You have improved. I just got that image of Ethan. I know that actor.
Yeah, he's been in a million things, and
Yeah.
he's good in all of them.
Anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
The vastness problem in the alien discussion kicks open the door for, I wonder if what we're dealing with are extra dimensional travelers and not necessarily aliens from another planet, because for practical purposes, like, there's no reason to make contact. There's nothing beneficial out of making contact, so far as I understand it, with anyone.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Because what if... So I've always under the assumption of space is so vast, it's going to be insanely rare if we contact anyone. So, or virtually impossible. So they would have to reach us. And if we're not... If let's say interdimensional isn't an option here for these aliens, let's say they are in our realm, our 3D universe, what if they could bend space and time to get here, like warp it to get here?
Well, doesn't that get them a step closer to being interdimensional by their own nature? If only by skipping a... We're getting a little esoteric here.
Esoteric.
But
let's go.
That same sort of technology to skip in and out of the universe is that same technology. Like getting out of the universe is already interdimensional at that point.
Well, no, I'm not saying getting out of the universe. I'm saying, like, what if you bend the actual universe that you're in to get to somewhere else, but you only warp it for you. Don't warp it for anyone else. No one else knows that it's being warped.
Isn't it like that whole theory of like folding it like a piece of paper to travel?
That's the very simple version. Yeah, well, that's using a black hole, or a wormhole. That's basically what I mean. Okay. It's like you're still traveling within the same dimension. You're not going anywhere else. But I guess if you're folding a dimension, then I guess you are in a different dimension, is what you're saying.
Excellently put to film by Event Horizon. It's just one of the really good, like, sci-fi just explanation scenes.
Did you guys hear about this UFO sighting that happened a couple of weeks ago? This guy on the plane, the passenger plane, who spotted something, and then they called it in, and everyone on radar. It was over New Mexico, I believe, funny enough. This airline pilot spotted something in the sky and didn't know what it was, so he called it in, and they contacted the FAA, and there was nothing on the radar, even though he was looking at it. It's like you can hear the recording of this. It happened like 2 weeks ago. And then they officially said, like, they announced that, we don't know what it was, but this pilot saw something. It was like days ago. Or weeks ago.
I saw news about it, but I didn't look any deeper into it because I don't know. I feel like it's gonna lead me down a rabbit hole that, like, who knows what I'm gonna end up discovering at the end of it.
Yeah.
The scarier thought for me is, what if those craft in particular that we've been seeing, and the Tic Tac that was featured on Joe Rogan. What if they're a different country? Yeah.
Well, not even just a different country. Like, what if they're just a rogue group of people who somehow have this technology?
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, like they're not affiliated to any country, but they are human. Like, that's where I'm like, okay, that's... Because a country you can work out, they have needs and wants, right? But if they're unknown, they're not linked to any country. It's like, okay, well then, what do they want?
Go back and give the Church of Latter-day Saints jet engine technology. See how that plays out.
I should give my thoughts on alien life. I'm one of those people who believes that we are in contact with alien life all the time. And I'm not just talking, and this is going to sound really stupid, but I believe the closest thing to alien life we're ever going to be in contact with, as far as we know, or as far as I know, should I say, in my lifetime, are octopus. Because those things are insanely intelligent, and we don't know the depth of their intelligence. They're only held back by their biological makeup. And it baffles me why people don't see them as essentially an alien life form already. You can't communicate with them. They're, like I said, so for example, let me just give you some context as to why I say this. So, like, I watched the documentary on octopus intelligence, and they did a lot of actual tests with octopus. So they took an octopus out of this harbour in this documentary, and they put it in a tank, and they showed it a sort of perspex box that had a crab inside it, and it had like 5 or 6 different ways of getting into it. One with like a twisty top, one with like one that you like twist and then unlock and all this sort of stuff to like get into it. One with a lid to get the crab. And they trained this octopus over a course of, I think, a few days to get it to learn how to unlock this thing to get the crab. And eventually it mastered it, right? So whenever they put this thing in with a crab in, it would go in and instantly know what to do, like unlock every single one of these things to get inside. Then what they did is they took another octopus fresh out of the harbour and they put it in a tank next to this other one, but they had like a piece of wood or something like blocking the view for this octopus, so it couldn't see the other one. And they put this little same perspex box or whatever in with this new octopus, and then tried to see what it would do, and it just stayed under this rock. It wouldn't come out. So then what they did is they took the perspex box out, they lifted the wood so this octopus could see the other one, and then they put it in with the one that's been trained. And this other octopus, the new octopus, sorry, came out, watched the other one instantly undo the thing, get the crab. Then they put a perspex box in with the new octopus with another crab in it, and it instantly undone it exactly how the other one did it. Like, it just watched and learned instantly. So they were like, okay, so the way these octopuses learn is instant. And the thing is, they're held back by their biology, because an octopus, they lay like hundreds and hundreds of young, but the females will like stay by the young's side until they die. And the problem with the octopus and their evolution is that they don't pass the information on to their young like we do. So we raise our young and we give them all the knowledge that we have and all the pitfalls and all this sort of stuff, and that's how we've become the dominant species on this planet. Because we teach our young what not to do and all that sort of stuff, and as I said, pass the baton on, pass the knowledge on. Whereas octopus don't do that, and they have very short lives. But they theorize if they somehow were able to evolve past that and actually teach their young, if that happened millions and millions of years ago, we'd be looking at a very different planet right now. It wouldn't be humans. Let's just say that, because the way they learn is instant. Now, to me, that screams, that's an alien life form. If I've ever seen one, the closest we'll ever get to a life form that we barely understand. We can't communicate with it, or we can very rudimentary form of just communication. But to me, that's like, okay, we talk about aliens in space, we talk about UFOs, there's always like stuff like that, but in our very oceans live things that have evolved over millions of years, that have had their own, they've taken on their own intelligence. It's just evolution is holding them back. And so whatever was holding us back on the evolution tree that broke, and that meant that humans were allowed to evolve. You know, imagine if that happened to the octopus, that one day something happens where their biology shifts and they're allowed to go to their full extent. Like, what do you guys think to that? Am I just talking out my ass? Are you there? Am I on my own? Oh god, the octopus have them. Help!
Hello.
Oh, they're roboting. Oh no. Are you there, Wedge?
Yeah. Am I roboting?
You're not roboting, no. It's Wedge. There he is. He's back.
Okay, I've stopped all the porn that I was downloading.
The octopus porn that you just you're like, oh yeah.
Iseki hentai.
But what do you think about that?
I've heard an interesting thought on that whole discussion, that there is a particular bottleneck for evolution, especially as it happens underwater. With the assumption that it's working roughly like on Earth, one of the key ingredients for our evolution was fire, and that is a much trickier proposition underwater. And that
yes.
although creatures may be able to form complex problem-solving intelligence without combustion, chemical combustion, observable chemical combustion that they could easily manipulate. And some of that is because of trees before us. Trees have been an invaluable tool in human learning. And there might be some sort of parallel under the sea. I don't know of one that would give them give squids that tool. Now, if squids get on land,
which they can do,
different story. Yes,
not squids. Octopus can live on land for a short amount of time. So, if you think like if they had evolved to pass their knowledge on to their young, perhaps they could have learned some method of staying on land for longer and longer periods of time till eventually they evolve to live on land as well as underwater. That's where my mind goes. So it's like the fire thing would be cracked if they get on land. So it's like it's getting on land which would be the issue for them.
Now, out in space, how does that work on a water world? Does a water world ever leave its home world? And that's been a topic of discussion had amongst smarter people than any of us.
I'm guessing on a water based planet it would be a lot of hydro power with what they'd be working on, like pressure, because you'd have when you head towards the surface there'd be different pressures and stuff, so perhaps that's what their technology would be based on.
I guess I fixate on small details like how a creature develops its first tool.
Well, but this is the thing, right? This is the thing we've got to remember with this subject, is that when we have to talk in broad strokes, because if you go into the weeds, well, it's not really the weeds, like even into the details. Like the first tool requires a societal structure between organisms. So it wasn't just like a caveman picked up a rock and started smashing it, and then he realized this tool could be used for hunting and all this sort of stuff. It was like he smashed a rock to kill an enemy. Like he just used it and then knew that he could do that. And then eventually you're talking so much time passed before we get to the point where they've got a spear or something like that. Like they've known how to hone that tool into something more streamlined and all that sort of stuff. So to jump from hit enemy over the head with rock and learn, and then remembering, hey, this thing is hard, and took them out really quickly, just that is a great amount of time.
And I got food.
Yes, and I got food. So it's like for us to imagine what, because the point I'm making is like the alien life, I think we already have it in our grasp. It's just it's stunted in its evolution. So it's like I always feel like we've already met aliens. It's just that they're just not as equipped as we are, because they haven't had the chance to, thankfully. And we should keep it that way. God bless the Japanese for eating all cephalopoid invaders. Yeah. It is crazy. There was more in this documentary. Someone's asking in the chat which show it was. It was on YouTube. I just looked up a documentary about octopuses. I can't remember. This was ages ago. I saved it in my favourites, but I think it's been deleted since. But I'll see if I can find it. Did either of you watch Europa Report? No.
No, what is that?
A lovely little science fiction film that I would recommend to both of you. And I will say no more. I have heard of it. I'm pretty sure it's free on YouTube. It's good. People on a spaceship going to a planet. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Bad things happen. You know the drill. Assholes and elbows. Assholes and elbows. I think I've just found it straight away. This documentary. Yes, I did.
Not gonna lie, this whole octopus thing is like completely new to me. I didn't know they're this smart.
Well, they have like 5 brains, and they change color to match their environments, but not just like change color. some of them can change like the look of the consistency of the body to match rock and all this sort of stuff.
And they do it passively. They've found that it happens like even while squids are quote unquote unconscious, but they can't even determine how unconscious the squid is. It's just not moving.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna have to mute. Right. So I'm just gonna put into the chat in the stream the link to the documentary I'm talking about. The bit I'm talking about with the glass tanks and how instantly this thing learns is like right at the end of it, but the whole thing is really interesting because they show like how octopus can get into small spaces and all this sort of stuff. It's just
now dogs do learn the same way. It's just not instant. It is quick though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's quick, but it's not like just instant. Like I'm talking. The other one hasn't even finished getting the crab before the other one's into its thing. It just looks at how it gets in, and then it's like, oh, that's how it gets in. And it's just like,
I mean, monkey see, monkey do is an important staple of evolution.
And it's the implications of like, imagine if these things could teach their young what to do, like how to survive. Where would they have been on the evolution? Like, where would we be today? What would be happening in 2021, the equivalent of 2021, that is, because obviously that's a year made up around a religion. But where would the Earth be if octopus were able to pass information on to their young and be like, don't do this, like do this, and I just thought it was fascinating. And to me, whenever anyone talks about aliens, my mind just goes to them. I'm just like, okay, they're here. We just live with them. They live in an environment we can't live in. They can do things we can't do. They can see. Can't octopuses see like eight colors on the spectrum that we can't see? Like 8 other colors that we can't even imagine because we just can't see them. I think they've studied the octopus's eye, or is it the squid's eye? And they've theorized there's like 8 colors that they have. 8 or 9 extra colors, something like that. Something ironically the same as their number of tentacles.
That actually, that gets brought up in a lovely little fiction book I would like to recommend to everybody called Mogworld. Imagine if Ready Player One wasn't so pretentious. A character, the book dives into some Cthulhian horror stuff, which is getting into the realm of aliens, which I kind of work. If I had to place my money, it's shit we can't even possibly begin to understand, and it's so far away from us we shouldn't even begin to consider it at this point. Kind of situation. But yeah, man, squids are fucked up, and getting the main character gets a squid eye put into his head as a replacement because he's a zombie and they can do that, plug and play. But it makes everyone around him sick to their stomach, and he slowly starts to go insane, and he sees God.
Okay, brilliant. That sounds great.
My lord.
Is the god a squid?
No, it's a computer programmer.
Oh my god.
It's worse.
Nerd sat at his computer. What was I going to say? There is an animal. I need to look it up. There is an animal on Earth. Sorry, to just continue your point, because I'm about to go on a different subject, but I need to look up something.
I worry about post-life entities, like things like the Thing. Or have you ever heard of a Jupiter brain?
No.
What is that?
Oh, is that the brain inside Jupiter?
Well, it's just a supercomputer purportedly to be. It's like a Dyson sphere, but just for computing. It's a computer the size of a fucking planet that runs on its own heat generated by its own gravity, and it's just a hypermind.
There's a mock fake documentary thing on YouTube that like toys around with that idea that like there's something inside Jupiter that's like a mind, and it's like you're reading transmissions from space. It's really cool. Got it saved in my favorites.
That's the thing, man. That's why the bottom of the ocean is
Yeah, I need to find...
There.
You're roboting
Pressure.
again, my man. You're roboting.
Oh no.
What's going on?
Oh,
I think it's on... No, it's not on my end. I don't know what's going on.
'Cause I hear him fine.
I'm trying to look up. I can't remember. Oh, bloody YouTube. Google is awful. There's an animal on Earth, or no, maybe even a squid or something. No, it's not a squid. There's a creature on Earth, and I can't remember the name of it. And it's doing my head, and it's really hard to find. But it's the only animal on Earth that is totally separate from all other life on planet Earth. Like it's in its own category completely. And we're not even talking different species. We're talking a completely different life form to everything else on Earth. And I can't remember what it's called. That's alien, because it literally is, but it lives on Earth. I can't remember the name of it though. That's going to drive me mad.
Humans, measly 3 color receptive cones. The mantis shrimp has 16 and can detect 10 times more color than human.
There you go. So think of this. Well, you can't. Try and think of the colours that it can see. You just physically can't even imagine them because you've never seen them.
Honestly.
That's what I'm saying. When people talk about alien life, it's like, Jesus, just look at the planet. The very planet we sit on. I say sit because
it's literally right here.
Yeah, it's literally right under our noses, but everyone always wants to look up to the stars. And it's like, I'm like, I don't think that, like, do I think life's out there? It's highly likely. Do I think we'll ever see it? No, not in human history. Probably be in cephalopod history when they take over.
Watch, next week comes the big...
The big what? The robot invasion. He's roboting like mad. I don't know. Is he roboting for you, Wedge, or is it just me? Okay, I seem to be losing everyone tonight. Oh, hang on. It's saying on my end that the voice connected is like the bars are really, really low. That might be my end. Wait, let me close that. Let me see if that has an effect. No. Hello, Big Shark. You've just jumped in. No, I think it might be me. Everyone's roboting. I think it's on my end. Because on Discord it's saying voice connected and I've got like 1 bar. Let me try and disconnect. And then connect again.
So...
Okay.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
I think it was me.
Is it better?
Yeah, you're all coming through fine now, but my voice... You know where it says at the bottom left, it says voice connected?
Mm-hmm.
It says 132 ms, 154, and then it was jumping to 5,000. And then you would all start roboting. Thank you, Big Shark, for the other $2, by the way. I don't know if I said thank you for that.
Oh, yeah. No. I
You-
love
you-
this fine conversation that's going on.
Yeah. Talk about aliens. I don't know, yeah. To me, it's like... I don't know if we'll ever see aliens. It's like when humans are going to get on Mars. I've always said I'll believe it when I see it, but I don't think we're actually going to get to Mars. I really just...
I
The-
would want to live on Mars.
as
The
much-
Oumuamua rock would have been really, really nice to get more pictures of if we knew it was coming.
The what? The what rock? Oh no, I'm roboting. Jesus Christ, what's going on? I'm saying it's fine. Oh well. Disconnect again. Let me try this again. The what rock?
Muamua. Am I
Moa.
coming in?
Yeah, you're coming in. I
Yeah.
think it's on my end. Dang.
Tech help on Terrordome 3000. We'll solve this together.
Yes.
But it's weird because like it's saying voice connected and it's green, and then you start roboting, and then it didn't go
And
red.
then it goes
then.
yellow for you.
No, it didn't that time. It just went. It's like whenever I ask an interesting question and you guys are about to answer, it's like roboting. It's really annoying.
Yeah, that's YouTube.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they don't want us talking about aliens. Maybe we're getting too close to the truth.
Oumuamua was detected in 2017 and was the first discovered interstellar object passing through the solar system.
Oh, was that big long tube thing?
Yes, and it had some very strange orbital mechanics that at first they thought it was moving like a comet. However, it had no ejecta or tail, and then it accelerated faster than they thought when it exited the solar dip, because it just basically did an enormous oval through our galaxy,
Okay.
or through our solar system, I should say.
Interesting.
And when it came out the other side, it was accelerating faster than they thought. This led to speculation that it might be powered by a solar sail, or could be an object specifically designed to do this. And there have been just like a number of other spacefaring science fiction concepts like the Dyson Sphere or the Jupiter Brain. A seed satellite is another one, a self-replicating asteroid, basically, that in theory over the course of like 100,000 years can track through an entire galaxy, which is nothing.
Yeah, but that wouldn't mean it's sentient or anything, would it?
Depends on how far automation could be misread as sentience.
That's true.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. See, this is the thing where I'm like, yeah, I'm very skeptical when it comes to this sort of stuff, because I always think like when it comes to things happening in real life, it always tends to come out of left field and never go the way anyone predicts. So it's like, do you know what I mean by that? It's like you can always, all these people predict how something's going to go, but then there'll always be something that makes it completely different to how everyone thinks it's going to go.
Yeah, they're aliens. They're psychic crystal beings that live in stars. That's the only ones we know about. They can't leave stars, and they can't do anything about it except talk to us sometimes.
The true alien is yourself.
It's the octopus.
Wom.
Speaking of AI, I watched Spielberg's AI the other day. Hadn't watched it since I was little, and that movie pissed me off because that whole movie, that little boy robot, is not AI. So the film's a crock of shit. Does anyone remember that film? Like,
I never cared to revisit it, but it was just the whole thing was just a giant love letter to Kubrick, wasn't it?
well, Kubrick wrote parts of it, I think. But but the thing is, like, the little boy just loves his mum, and he just wants his mum to say he loves her back. But there's like a set of words that she says to the boy to get him to activate his love program or whatever, or to be connected to her, like, you know, like a baby chick when it hatches from an egg and sees, yeah, it's like that. She says a load of words, and then he flicks, and then he like loves her instantly. And then I don't know, I was just like saying to Emma, I was like, that kid's not AI. So I don't know if the film's trying to say that there's AI elsewhere with these other characters, but there's nowhere in the film where I can see artificial intelligence. It all just seems very programmed, so I was annoyed. I was like, what a jip.
Small soldiers, Tron.
Yeah, Small Soldiers has more AI in it than AI.
Small Soldiers is badass.
Yeah, it's a great
I
movie.
love that movie.
What is your name? I'm Alan. Now shut up. Okay, Alan. Now shut up.
Oh, and the truck delivery guy is the horror movie icon. Yeah, he's been in like 80, well, not
Terminator.
80, tons and tons of B movies.
Yep.
Dick Miller. That's his name.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when he popped up on Red Letter Media and Chopping Mall.
Yeah. He's in Terminator. Right. Let's get these two. Looking concerned.
Underrated Tommy Lee Jones flick.
Huh.
What you see? Which
Small
one?
Soldiers.
Oh, because he does the
Yeah.
voice, yeah. Major Chip Hazard.
Tail dog soldiers.
Well, that's the thing. Like, okay, I don't know if it's underrated because everyone I know who's watched Small Soldiers rates it very highly. It's probably a better way of wording it is underrepresented, maybe. Not many people talk about it enough.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised now that I'm thinking about it that they didn't try and push it as like the next big franchise. Or someone didn't try and do something with it.
Yeah. Seems ripe for the picking. I think it was successful, wasn't it? Gonna give Hank a bit of a shiny head.
See, because I've never seen this movie, and I'm like looking at photos. I definitely recognize it.
What, Small Soldiers?
Yeah.
That's well worth checking out. Stan Winston
Yeah,
did the effects.
It's a TBS Saturday afternoon feature every so often. It was more popular
Like Toy
years
Story
ago.
movies.
Yep.
It looks interesting.
It is very interesting.
How the hell did we go from aliens to Small Soldiers again? Oh yeah, AI. That was it.
Yeah.
I know I
Yeah,
sound like
but-
I'm going to be really biased here, but my favourite AI movies to come out in the last few years are Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I mean, David
Oh,
is
yeah.
the best AI character to come out in a long while.
That's Tron for me. It's Clue.
Oh yeah, and yeah, Clue is great. You asked me to make the perfect system. Yeah.
Man, if Westworld season 2 didn't suck, I'd start throwing out shit from season 1, but I can't.
Yeah, Westworld. I haven't seen it yet. I have this caveat because obviously it's a Crichton thing, so I'm like, I really want to watch it, but they haven't finished making it, have they? As far as I'm aware, they haven't.
It's just like True Detective. Just watch season 1 and dip out.
Does season 1 end in such a way that you don't need to watch the other season?
See,
There's the question. Because if
No,
it doesn't,
it-
if it's open-ended, I'm not watching it. If it had a closed ending and then I didn't need to watch the other series, then yeah, I'd check it out.
How can you say that, but in the same breath praise Prometheus?
Because it got Alien Covenant. And actually, no.
Okay.
And also at the time, I said I was annoyed at its open ending because, like, if they didn't make a sequel, yeah, I'd be pissed off. But that's why I'm annoyed with where, like, Covenant has a bit more of a closed ending in a way, but at the same time, I'm like, where the hell? Well, come on, Disney, don't let us down. But yeah, I don't know. It's just because I've been burnt. I've been burnt too many times by things that just either never end or they end in such a way that you go, okay, that wasn't worth it. Or at least, I don't know. Or just ends in that it's been cancelled. There you go, that's one. Firefly being a good example of that. Where it's just like, okay, Firefly's good, but isn't it kind of sad when you watch it knowing it doesn't go anywhere?
Yeah, I get that. That's what, when I watched it years ago, I was like, that's it. There's got to be more. And it's like just a spiral of sadness when there's like nothing left.
Well, there's Serenity, which is the movie which basically compacts what they were going to do in seasons 2, 3, or whatever, and then they reboot it in that film, so it retcons season 1. But that's what I mean. It's like when it comes to TV shows, I tend to like to wait until they finish, and then I go, okay, I'm gonna watch from beginning to end because I know at least it has an ending. Even if the ending's shit, at least they have the balls to give it an ending. But
Yeah.
but I say this like this isn't a rule that I actually keep because I'm a hypocrite. I'm only human. There are shows I watch that haven't ended. But
No, I get the feeling.
Yeah, but how much do you have vested in any current running shows? Like, are there any that really light your pants on fire?
the fact that I can't think of any might give you a sign.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what's even out there. List some off, and then I'll see if I've seen them or not.
The most recent show I have bothered to watch was Terry Pratchett's The Watch on BBC.
Oh my god,
That's
my
about
wife's
it.
going to be really happy that exists. She's a huge Terry Pratchett fan.
You know, it had a lot of like SJW vibes to it, but just going off of the first episode, it wasn't bad.
Okay, well, she'll love that then.
They've got a lot of heavy lifting to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I do not care for their casting of Lord Vetinari because I don't mind that she's a lady. She's not terrifying. Lord Vetinari must be terrifying.
Right.
More terrifying even than Death, because Death is quite amicable in those books.
Death's charming. He's a charming character.
Lord Vetinari upended centuries of divisive, murderous politics by being the most divisive, murderous assassin in town. I can't help but love Terry Pratchett for how he has built this perfect supervillain and kind of made him a linchpin hero. And I'm sad he never got his own like dedicated, devoted book, to my knowledge.
Well, yeah. Did you hear Terry Pratchett had a load of books that he wrote that hadn't come out yet? And then he said, "When I die," in his will, those books are to be run over by a steamroller. So they just get destroyed, so no one can read them. Like,
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't want anyone to like release his work, and try and finish it because it's all his. And that's why I feel sad for like Crichton, because they're still bringing out Crichton books, and it's like I don't know if he would have necessarily wanted. Maybe I have to look into this, but I get the impression that Crichton probably wouldn't want half-finished works to be released. But maybe he wrote it in his will that he didn't mind. But I don't know.
I don't mind when they're kind of released as they are. It's just like notes from the author.
Yes, yeah.
Like more, but that's the thing, is that there have been a lot of books that have tread this ground, and everyone's afraid that that's what's going to happen to Game of Thrones as well. But George R.R. Martin's got that fat money now, so he's literally hired like 4 people to keep track of his universe for him.
What's some other
How
TV
like students?
What are you gonna say?
I was like apprentices to like take over for Game of Thrones.
I think they're more like accountants because of how many details they have to keep track.
That's fair.
What other TV shows? I'm just trying to think. I'm thinking of TV shows. I mean, I love Red Dwarf, and that hasn't finished. But that
Will it? will it ever finish? Isn't it kind of like Doctor Who, where it's the serial that goes on forever?
No. I mean, it's a sitcom, but the actors are all really old, so I don't think they can go forever. And they can't get anyone else to replace them. It's impossible because those characters are so iconic.
How did you like the comeback movie in like 2012?
I liked it. I think the only thing I didn't like about it was it didn't have canned laughter, which is a really weird thing to say because it felt weird to not have canned laughter. But it should have had it because even if it was fake, I liked the movie because it was obviously one big rip-off of Blade Runner. I say rip-off, it was like mocking it. It was like a big satire of Blade Runner. But I also like it because the DVD that I've got looks exactly the same as the one in the film. Or in the TV film. So I didn't mind that. I liked it. It was good.
No lie, Hank looks like he's about to choke somebody.
Yeah, he's annoyed. Now I have to add the Burke sweat.
And kill.
And then we're
Like
done.
speaking of like TV shows with like endings and whatnot, have you ever seen Twin Peaks?
No, I need to get around to watching that because I've heard lots of people talk about it. It's one of those ones I know they've finished, so it's like, okay, I can get around to.
Yeah, it wrapped up recently. Actually, there was a 20-year gap.
But there you go. See, if I'd have started watching it in that 20-year gap, I'd be annoyed. But now they've finished it, I can finally get around to
The
it.
Red Letter Media two-parter on it was a fascinating way to absolutely ruin all the surprises that show had for me.
There you go. Look at him. He's sweating away. I only want to do a little bit of sweat, just get that 80s sweat.
Like Twin Peaks is like one of my favorite Lynch things out there. It's so strange yet it's so captivating. Especially the first season. Second one, it like stumbled a bit, but like I still really enjoyed it because like I grew really attached to the characters.
I should go through and give it a proper watch. I've seen bits and pieces, but I've never given it its due.
You gotta, man.
And just to piss David Lynch off, I'm going to watch it on my fucking phone. How do you like that, you crotchety old bastard?
Well, he's like one of those that's against watching it on phones.
Oh, it drives him nuts.
Yeah, there's in the latest Red Letter Media when they were talking about the Snyder Cut. They have a clip of him saying that, don't they?
Huh.
Yep.
I did not know this.
But I've watched David Lynch yelling about things compilations before, so I'd seen that.
Yeah. That's what he's known for. He's like Tarantino when he gets pissed.
Oh man,
Okay,
really?
so we've got this done.
If you ever want inspiration for story writing, listen to David Lynch. Like, if this asshole can do it.
He's a crazy storyteller. Like, you've seen the Quinoa video, right?
Yeah.
What a great story he was telling.
Like, it's just liberating the amount of confidence he has to do whatever the hell he wants.
Literally.
The only thing I can compare it to would be some of the weirder shit Breaking Bad did. Like, that's the only other show I could think of that was like that ballsy. And yeah, Westworld played with time, but it wasn't. You could tell J.J. Abrams had no idea where he was going with it when he wrote that first fucking episode. That's why I hate it.
Oh, JJ wrote the Westworld series.
Oh, he's in on it. His fingerprints all over it. It follows the mystery box formula to a T.
Yeah, he loves mystery boxes, man.
Why did it say
How does it compare to the old Westworld? I think it was directed by Crichton.
Mm-hmm. I've only seen the old one, so I like the old one.
I haven't seen the old one.
Yeah, the
I
old
haven't
one's like
either.
campy as hell, but it's fun. hell is campy? Right, where am I looking now?
That'll be a good movie night. We just like watch the Westworld movie by Crichton. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I'm down.
I still need to check that out. I also need to check out Breaking Bad because I have not seen it yet.
It's good.
I've only ever seen parts of it. I was never in on the hype.
Yeah, same. It was like Walking Dead. I watched it when I got to season 5.
It did get overhyped. Storytelling and am I roboting?
Yeah, you did a bit, but I think it's my end. So you keep talking, unless you are and you're roboting.
Just
What the hell?
going back and rewatching it in knowing what I know about how Vince Gilligan originally put together the first season of that show, and then in the last couple episodes decided to upend everything, and he still made the story work. That is a marvel to me. It made me appreciate the show that much more. Like, spoilers, Jesse was supposed to die in the first season.
Huh.
And knowing that kind of influenced my opinion on the show a little bit, especially with how well they okay, one of the main characters later in the show, Gus, he was a bit part. They had never planned on a Gus. They're just like, we have this cool actor, we have these cool lines for him to say. Hey, he gave a really good performance. Let's put him in the next episode. And it's this writing on the fly experiment when you get into the behind the scenes on that show and how well they're able to stitch a narrative together while making it the fuck up is beyond impressive to me.
That sounds amazing.
Which show is
Like,
this?
Yeah,
Wow.
it does kind of.
Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen all of that. Oh yeah, Gus,
I
of course.
I kind of prefer Better Call Saul.
haven't
I
seen
heard
it.
some people say that too.
I don't know why. I just imagine Better Call Saul as like a comedy, like a My Name Is Earl. I don't know why.
It kind of is, and then it gets like really, I don't want to say dark because it's not like evil dark, but it's depressing and morose on a level you really didn't expect to hit you on while still maintaining funny. And I don't know, part of my attachment to that show is I identify with being a smarmy, lying, cheating bastard, kind of like Saul, and then pulling your life out of the gutter and trying to make it work the right way, and then everything else coming back at you. I know that feeling.
Fuck.
Right. Jude, I'll swing you round. Oh god, I've split Kate's head. What have I done?
That and I do love me some Tejano fusion and Mexican salsa, all kinds of Spanish, Latin music. It's I don't understand a word, but I can get addicted to that stuff quick. And that show is just thick with it.
Did you watch the movie that came out for it? Like, not for Breaking Bad.
I'm saving it because I want to watch it after I finish Better Call Saul. Because Better Call Saul isn't over.
It's never over. It's never over because people keep watching it and they've got to make that money, man. No,
This
okay.
Harrison McCarthy brings up that this coming season will be the finale season, and when Breaking Bad announced their finale, they stuck to it, and I think they stuck the landing. I think they paid off that story excellently because they planned out a good ending.
Yeah, I agree. I like the ending. Now, I only watched it when they'd done the ending. As soon as they ended it, I was like, right, finally I can watch this bloody Breaking Bad thing that everyone's been talking about.
I guess you weren't as enthused by it overall?
I liked it. I didn't quite understand why it was so popular, but really like the acting, and I thought Bryan Cranston was better in Malcolm in the Middle.
I'm gonna say this. A lot of movies annoy me because a lot of movies like to pretend that whoever is writing the movie pretends they know what being a criminal is like, or what doing a lot of drugs with a lot of people is like. Breaking Bad fucking nails it.
Yeah, it's very real, very true, down to earth, and true to life. I got that sense. That's why I nearly quit it halfway through season 3, because I was like, okay, I'm finishing episodes and I just feel depressed. I'm like, what? And I'm watching this show to be entertained, and I'm actually not being entertained. I'm actually being like going through some sort of, I don't know, just made me feel bad watching it. And then I was like, oh, I'll stick with it. And then season 4, I was like, okay, this is kick ass.
Nice.
No, hold on. You go.
Me or?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just like saying nice,
Oh,
like
okay.
yeah.
So I checked out The Sopranos. I got to the ending and I was like, what the fuck?
The black screen.
Poor James Gandolfini. I really think they had a movie in them, a different kind of movie planned for if he had been around.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I've
making
seen
a
of
prequel.
Sopranos is the ending. I YouTubed it because I heard everyone talking about it. I was like, what is this ending? And then I watched it. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I guess if
it's
you've watched the
kinda
whole
like
thing.
yeah. It's a fucking long ass series, dude. But yeah, like apparently they're gonna make a prequel, and we're gonna see a young Tony. It's a movie, I think.
Is he
Or
AI?
series, I don't know. But it's gonna be on HBO. Not happy about that. I don't think it's AI.
I'm just taking the mic. He's like, whenever anyone says prequel now, I just get a Prometheus pops in my head. So I'm like, is he?
No. It's. I don't know. I'll have to see a full trailer. But I probably won't see it because I just canceled my. I just canceled my HBO Max. So.
I need to turn Big Shug up. He's a little bit quiet. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's better.
You got your Snyder. You got your Snyder cut. Now you're out, huh?
Yep. And guess what? I was still fucking disappointed.
Really?
Yeah. I wasn't satisfied with like where it went, and then the Superman shit felt rushed for me at least. Spoilers for everybody. Sorry if you haven't checked it out yet. But yeah, I don't know. It was weird for me. I did enjoy. It's just me.
I enjoyed it more than the first one. I'll say that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I haven't seen it, and I haven't even seen the other one. So there's my 2 cents.
I wouldn't check it out, Jack. You're gonna dislike it.
And I feel like you have to watch the first one before watching the Snyder cut, just so you can see
exactly.
like how much they fucked it.
Don't care about Batman or Superman enough to sit for 4 hours and watch a movie on them.
6
Yeah,
hours actually with the other one.
Keep it that way.
It's on HBO Max. Give the Justice League animated series a spin. Just give it 2 episodes. If it doesn't pull you in by then,
I don't think it's going to pull me in because I'm just not into the premise.
Yes,
Justice League Unlimited.
Wrong. It's okay. Happens.
Like a friend of mine, he might even be watching. He showed me this film called Batman Ninja. Have you seen Batman Ninja?
oh no,
Yeah, I've seen it.
not that one.
I was like, this is what's happening with superheroes now. I'm out. I'm completely out. I'm not. I'm done. When you get a giant monkey Joker, or Batman or whatever, I'm like, they're out
Why-
of
Fucking
ideas.
Joker has a
They're
mustache.
totally out of ideas.
Why would he show you that abortion? Oh my god.
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm
If
surprised he didn't show you Flashpoint.
here's how you make that story work. You make it 66 Batman. You put the 66 Adam West Batman, I buy all of it. But they put the wrong Batman in that movie.
Wait, was that a specific Batman? I just thought that was a Batman for that film.
It probably is, but if you're going to go with any motif of Batman, like a good revival of 60s Batman has been long. Like the smiling, happy, goofy Batman, I'm down.
Didn't
I'm
they
down.
do that?
And
Isn't that Batman and Robin and Batman Forever? Aren't they just
yeah,
basically
but
what that is?
that's 20 years ago, Jack. We need that hero now.
Wait, it wasn't
The
yesterday?
closest we got is Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
And the Harley Quinn cartoon, but the Harley Quinn cartoon is a show made for
No.
fans. I can't even recommend it to people who aren't already fans of the DC universe.
There's just I just don't know. There's just something about these superheroes. I just don't gel. They just don't. There's something about it. Like, okay, for example, Godzilla and Kong is about to come out. I am so excited for that movie, even if it's like bad. Like, I just don't care if it's a good movie or not. Like, it really doesn't bother me if it's.
For it.
Now,
I guess it's the emotional investment from like your childhood already there. Like that's how I see it for superheroes.
Well, it's like it's also
That's
watching the
Transformers.
original Godzilla versus Kong. I'm like, this is what it's a remake of. So okay, that's where I've put the bar. I'm like, okay, and have you seen that film? It's not good.
I agree with Harrison McCarthy. If there's one standalone feature of any Batman property I've got to recommend to you, it is the Dark Knight Returns animated film.
Oh
It
yeah.
is-
Completely
it is-
agree.
It is good. It doesn't feel tropey. You'll see where all these other garbage movies keep stealing their good ideas from.
Where is it?
And it's on HBO
It's an
Max.
animated movie.
It's that
Batman,
clip we were watching. It was that hard edge Batman.
The Dark Knight Returns. Here we go. Let me have a look. Let me.
Isn't
do
it Frank Welker or Peter Weller or who?
Peter
Oh God,
Peter
oh God, oh
Weller,
God.
RoboCop himself, stars as
Yeah,
Batman.
He's playing Batman.
The Dark
And the Joker
Knight
is-
Returns.
It's like his
Is
voice for Batman is like one of my favorites next to Kevin Conroy. Like it's so iconic to me, even though it's just in that
Yeah,
one
Kevin.
thing.
Yeah, Kevin's great.
It is so great going back and watching that movie against the mini featurette that they did in the Batman the Animated Series, because they did like a little 8-minute truncated version of it. Do you remember that episode? It was in season 4. It was the kids and they were running from Firefly and they were all telling the rumors that they heard about Batman, and one of them told like Brave and the Bold Batman, one of them told like 90s Batman, and then the kid was like, I'm going to tell you about hardcore Batman. And they just did the entire story in
Yeah.
8 minutes and it was fantastic.
I've never seen it. I
Oh,
want to
saw
check
the-
it out.
152 minutes. Jesus Christ.
it's 2 movies.
It's 2 movies, yeah.
Two,
Yeah, I can
two,
see
mi-
it.
two 90-minute movies.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll check it out.
I'm not going to
I like the
force
Joker in that.
I'm not going to force you, but in the same way that you prodded Clayton to watch Primal, give it a shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it's going to
Oh,
change
God,
your
Clayton.
I don't think it'll change your opinion on the genre, but I do think that film will execute its premise on its own.
Okay. Have you guys seen The Bat with Vincent Price? Now there's a Batman film I couldn't get down and watch.
I've heard of it. We were supposed to watch it for my old film club, but we just never got around to it because we were going to do like a Vincent Price thing for October.
Yeah, where you get the bat signal. It's all in there. Batman before Batman.
I don't think I've seen that.
No one's seen it. It's like the bat. I think that's the one with the bat signal. I know he has the claws. Trying to remember now. I've got it on DVD somewhere.
It wouldn't surprise me. Batman lifted from another of other really popular concepts, chiefly the Shadow.
Yeah, it was the Shadow, and then I think didn't Spawn come around as well?
Spawn? Oh no, Spawn's
Spawn.
way later.
All right, I thought it was one of those ones.
Nah, Batman. I mean, goes all the way back to Bill Finger and.
Yeah, and I heard that like the rumors of like Bill Finger plagiarizing shit from other books.
Other way around. Bill Finger was the one who got plagiarized by the other guy whose name I can't remember, which is probably for the better.
Bob Kane?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that might be.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know. I heard a story like.
So what's going on with that bloomin'... maybe I'll regret asking this, but that Suicide Squad poster, what the hell was going on with that? I saw in the Discord.
Oh yeah, you saw Weasel.
Yeah, he's just one of the characters.
Yeah, it's fucking Weasel.
But
I have no idea who that is.
But how is that a superhero?
No, they're all villains.
It's all villains. It's called the Suicide Squad. It's kind of like the anti-hero squad.
Look at Kate's face changes like.
It's like kind of like the Legion of Doom, except like kind of lamer.
Yeah, it's like a shitty version of the Justice League.
But what I mean is like how is that classed as a superhero? That's what I want to know.
They're not. They're anti-heroes because they work for Amanda Waller, government agent.
But I mean,
got them all on a life contract to do her bidding.
But I mean, like, it's classed as a superhero movie, right?
I guess because it's like in the DC universe, it takes place technically.
No, Jack,
like
this is not your average superhero movie.
This isn't your dad's superhero movie.
It's your child's. It's your onboard child's movie.
I'm so confused.
The movie your daughter is going to dress up for is Halloween.
It's the same with like Rocket Raccoon. Like, I'm not knocking like these characters as bad or anything. It's like, to me, I think superhero was like an ordinary human becomes powerful, or I don't even know. Does Superman count? I mean, I guess he does, but
Superman has to count because he's more human than he is not. At the end of the day,
like Batman, I get that. I get the idea of like people who use their talents to do good and that, but then when you start getting to talking weasels and raccoons, I'm like, okay, well these are just aliens. They're creatures. They're not superheroes or villains or whatever you want to call them. There's something completely different.
They're pulp cereals.
Yeah. That's what I'm like. It's like, it's okay. It's that whole dilemma of, if you were just a brain in a jar, would you be really you? So how much of the superhero do you have to remove before these things aren't superheroes anymore? That's the dilemma I'm sort of dealing with here.
I don't know, because like for me, it's like I kind of see superhero in the sort of classic sense of like I'm thinking like early '60s, like '70s type comics, but now it's like I just see them as like characters or even just heroes. Like I don't know how to describe it, but like when I think superhero, I think old style. Well, this is more like modern.
I don't know. I'm more forgiving. I'm not forgiving of Suicide Squad, but I'm forgiving of the concept, if only if it tells me good stories. Like, okay, here's a story of an animal, a cat, found by a group of hoodlums, thrown into a bag, and thrown into a river. In her infinite rage, a space ring came down from the sky and granted her with rage powers. I introduce you to the Red Lantern Dexstar, and that is a lovely, fascinating fucking character who I want to go on stories with. Not some plush raccoon next to a stripper.
Yeah.
There's pathos. Give me pathos. Even Rocket Raccoon had pathos.
I mean, I think we're gonna get that with the Weasel since it's both by James Gunn.
Yeah, I know. This is pretty much like a shitty version of Guardians of the Galaxy. Just bad people. That's it.
Didn't DC learn their lesson from fucking Justice League? Didn't we already do this rodeo?
No, they clearly haven't learned anything because they don't learn at all.
No, because Justice League made a shit ton of money. That's why.
Yeah, I know. So
wanna-
like,
they
it doesn't
wanna do that
matter if
again.
it sells well, it sells well, and they'll keep making it.
Yeah.
I
Damn
know.
right they will.
It's like Josh's. If you look at Josh's score there for what it got, people were going to the theater to go watch it immediately.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Like, because then
First
it
you
goes
sign.
around because you get all these YouTubers who have to review it, and then they make
They
their
say
money
it's
off it, like what
awesome.
we're doing right now. So that's how it works. That's how it goes around, comes around. I want them to make shittier superhero movies because it makes YouTube go.
I am
round.
with you, Jack. The best decision DC has made in the past 10 years is firing the firebrand Max Landis to let him launch his own grassroots DC Universe project. He's just stealing their concepts
Yeah.
and making money off of them.
Yeah, why not?
And telling better stories than them.
Do it. Do it. Do it now. See? See, that's exactly what they should do. But I'm just going back on a serious note. Just going back, I saw that picture of that bloomin' ferret, whatever it was, on that poster, and I was like, wait, this, and it said Suicide Weasel, and it said Suicide Squad, and I was like, wait, okay, I remember Suicide Squad being Will Smith. Where's Will Smith? Why is there this raccoon thing?
I believe it's a reboot.
Yeah, they just straight up rebooted it after this.
I thought it was a sequel.
No, it's a reboot.
Oh
No,
my
it's
God.
a direct sequel to Birds of Prey. You won't understand what's going on unless everyone saw Birds of Prey, right?
Is it actually?
Does
you
it
kidding me?
matter?
I don't know.
I hate
couldn't
Birds of
tell if you were
Prey.
memeing
Oh
or
my
not,
god,
so
talk about a film. They butchered my boy.
Here's how bad.
Butchered Zach.
Here's how bad DC is at this concept. Even the animated Suicide Squad sucks.
Oh yeah, the one with where they take over Arkham or something.
Yeah. Now,
Arkansas.
you could technically say that the Harley Quinn
Or
show.
Held to
is-
Pay.
Yeah, it was the one in association with the Arkham game.
Okay, yeah. That was bad. I liked their King Shark
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, and I don't know. King Shark has this magical way of selling. He was the most interesting part of Flash.
Oh yeah, I like their Flash, King Shark. I don't like this new one, which they made him have a very slow vocabulary, but it is what it is.
You could argue the Harley Quinn cartoon has a version of the Suicide Squad, but it's not the Suicide Squad.
It's not the Suicide Squad. Yeah, it's a different universe type shit.
It's
I
like
didn't
Suicide
care for
Squad and
that.
everything but name, I guess. Because I've never seen the series, so that's like my guess.
It's like the gang's all there, but they're not doing it. It's
Oh, okay.
it's like the Beatles are just hanging out writing solo albums, and the star is John Lennon. Yep. The DC universe left us in a ditch of nothing to fucking talk about. Thanks, DC. All my favorite characters I grew up with are
left
pit
all
of
of us to
sadness.
die. They all left to go make a new Marvel movie.
You have alienated Jack from your core concept. That's how bad you fucked up, DC.
I was never really on board with DC. Come on,
tell
I
him
think,
that.
I think,
They
I
do
think
like
someone.
the
I
League of
think
Extraordinary Gentlemen too.
now you're talking. Because that was going to be War of the Worlds, wasn't it?
Get CGI Sean Connery.
No. You can yeah, just have a different character. God, it pains me that their sequel for that was going to be the Martians from War of the Worlds were invading Earth.
Yeah, I know, that would've been
oh,
great.
God. Why didn't they make that
I
movie?
know, it's like you're robbing us of a grand sequel.
That was
Let's
such a great idea for a sequel as well. Totally different to the first one. Ugh.
Let's plot this out. What characters didn't they use? Who do you make?
Sherlock Holmes.
Okay, I can buy that. Sherlock Holmes.
Well, you had Moriarty in the first one. He was the villain. So you've had the villain, but Sherlock and Watson. You got your detective.
I know the Three Musketeers are like 2 centuries out of date for that setting, but I want them there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Frankenstein's monster. I'd throw them in.
I'd get the shark from that one other book, the Shark Man. Throw him in there.
Fuck it.
World.
Lone Ranger ain't doing anything. Bring him on.
Exactly.
Tarzan.
Badass. Yeah, you're set.
And Challenger, Professor Challenger from the Lost World, who would actually secretly be the villain of the movie.
And there's your Lost World, and you see everybody, and that's how you make the Avengers.
Yeah.
Frankenstein's the heavy. Lone Ranger would be the moral leader.
Yeah.
The three Musketeers, which is kind of the bulk of the party. You could even just have one Musketeer, and it's just a really old D'Artagnan.
Well, no, you don't do that. You do Zorro. You take
yes.
Oh.
Right. So you don't have the Three Musketeers. You have one. You have Zorro.
There's your Batman.
But the thing is, we're talking about characters that weren't in the first one. You've got to have some of the returning characters. So you could have the Invisible Man. That's a really easy one to do because you don't see him. He's invisible. So you don't even have to worry about it.
Huck Finn's got to come along.
What, Tom Sawyer?
I mix those two up.
Yeah, Tom Sawyer's in the first one. The character, I believe. It's Tom Sawyer.
Well, then Huck Finn for part 2, man.
There you go.
Hyde.
Yeah, because Jason Fleming, the actor's still around.
So. And can you do Nemo still?
It depends on the actor, unless they got another actor to play him.
They're dead or not now, yeah. I mean, you can't do Sean Connery unless you want to pull a Disney and CG him.
I just love this. I've just got this image of one of the tripods from War of the Worlds standing in the ocean, just heat raying the bloody sword of the ocean, blowing the whole front of it up.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's like, come on,
Lone Ranger rides up the ship and lassos one of the legs.
Yeah.
Oh my god, stop! That would be nuts. That'd be amazing.
I know this is superhero, but I love. See, this is before all those superheroes. You've got these old superheroes from back in the day. Yeah, that's where I am.
What is the differentiator there? Is it just the branding that really puts you off, or is it the scope? Maybe
I think it's the style. I think it's the style because I think. When you enter superheroes, when you've got Tony Stark and he's freaking got nanotech melting onto his body and all that, I'm like, okay, well then sort of anything goes. Whereas you're talking back in Victorian era and stuff, there's no mobile phones. They're limited by what's going on. So when someone has superpowers, it's genuinely okay, what's going to happen? Because they're limited in how they can get out of situations. Whereas if you enter it in the modern era, I'm like, okay, there's more and more technology for the everyday human. There's more cameras and stuff going on. So, okay, do you know what I mean? That plays a part for me.
So you just want it more grounded then?
Well, it's not so much grounded. It's just more the characters need to be. They have a challenge. They need to have a challenge.
Tighter rules.
Yeah, they need a challenge. Superheroes nowadays, I don't get the sense that they're being really challenged by anything. I don't really get that sense. The closest I got to that in recent superhero films was was Nolan's Dark Knight with the
Doctor
Joker.
Strange, I think, pulled that off really well, if only because they upended the ending.
Yeah, in a way, but I still didn't get the sense from that for some reason. I don't know. There was something about
Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
Was alright.
It was even with Thanos, I was like, okay, It's like because they limited Thanos and his abilities, and I was like, okay, well then you've made the most interesting character be an idiot with the power that he's wielding. It's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Thanos.
And not a thematic, ironic idiot like Hammond.
No. It's like, okay, you've got this thing that you can do anything with. You can change reality. And I wanted more of the wacky stuff, like he turns one character's gun into a bubble gum and turns someone into rope and all that sort of stuff. Like, I'm like, do that more, because that's interesting.
But he threw a planet at Iron Man.
Yeah, I don't care.
I think
about
he had
that.
one scene where he turned where he took Chris Pratt's gun. Shoot.
It's like they had the chance to go super wacky with that, like that glove, but they just didn't really do it as much as I'd hoped. And I don't know, and that, because to me it'd be wacky, but that would bring a sense of, okay, Iron Man's got all this technology, but he hasn't got a thing that can turn reality on its head. And they never really did that, and it really annoyed me, because I was like, that's where I'm coming from. It's like, okay, you're limiting the good guys and their powers and making the sense of a challenge for them to beat, whereas in this it's like, okay, he's throwing a planet at Iron Man, he'll just shoot through the clumps. Like, I get it, he's gonna be alright.
He doesn't ever... We see through a lot of the other movies the full, or at least some sense of what the full power of each stone is supposed to do, because they're all featured in some way. And especially the Time Stone, Doctor Strange, it would have been interesting to see Thanos fuck with that a little more than he did just to pull Vision. But I guess that's just him being short-sighted.
What was... I mean, this might have been answered in the film, but what was wrong with Doctor Strange going back in time and stopping Thanos getting the stones?
It wouldn't have worked because he looked through various.
Yeah, I know. He looked at every outcome.
Well, I know that, but why wouldn't it work?
By that point, it was too late, and they would have had to have gone further back than he would. That's a very good question, Jack.
Like he says, they didn't explain why though. It's just they just brush over it, because I'm like, okay, well, what's stopping you? Like, what's the specifics there? Because that's what's making me want to go along with this journey. I know that sounds like a nitpick, but yeah. Legendary in the chat says, Jack, watch the Sam Raimi.
Call it a day.
That's kind of the problem you get into with all time travel plots, though.
Yeah, no, you kind of get fucked up.
Well, see, that would have been interesting for me, as if like they had to go back in time to stop Thanos, and then, we go for the wacky hijinks of them going back in time.
Nah, I mean they did an Endgame, but not in the right way.
Yeah, they didn't commit to it. Like going back to the first Avengers movie was actually pretty fun, but like they didn't go really like.
That should have been the whole movie, not half the movie. Because there should have been the whole movie, and then you have, I guess, an Infinity War Part 3 for the big showdown, right?
I mean, that would have probably made them just as much money.
Yeah, I know. It would have made them more money, and I don't want to give them more money.
Does she have... Oh no, it says sleeve. Legendary in the chat.
If you think about it.
David the Master wants to know what our favorite ice creams are. Moose Tracks, motherfucker.
All right, David. I have one favorite ice cream, and that is cotton candy ice cream.
Ooh, for me, it's a tie between the rocket popsicle and the chocolate drumstick.
Ooh, those are some good choices.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about what my favorite ice cream is.
Well, you're doing the keto thing, so ice cream's out of the question.
Oh no, I've given up on the keto thing.
Oh, I wanted to encourage you on and everything.
No, I gave up on that because it was like going from one extreme to the other. I'm now just on a simple low carb diet. So I've cut down the carbs, but the keto, going full keto instantly, not a good idea. I was getting very dizzy. I was like, this isn't good.
You were the chosen
one. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought about my favourite ice cream. If I have to get one from a shop, like a lolly, I usually go for like a Twister, which is like a kid's one. Because I'm like, I go for like something I used to eat when I was a kid. I don't even know if you guys know what a Twister is. I don't know if you have it where you are.
I don't think it's here in America.
It's like a ice cream with strawberry and lime twisted around it.
Okay. One of those.
And but then
fruit in ice cream. What are you, French?
It's flavoring. It's flavoring. And then I don't know. But if actual ice cream, I guess just the what they call the 99p. Classic British ice cream. Stick a flake in it. Done. There you go. Legendary in the chat says, Jack, watch the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. I have definitely watched the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, and I really like 1 and 2.
Needs a good commentary.
It does. That is something I do want to get around to doing commentaries for.
I haven't seen 3 in a long time. I think about 7 years.
Last time I watched number 3, I was in Japan. Me and my wife.
Really?
Yeah, me and my wife. Because so in Japan, so everyone tends to come out. We're in Tokyo, and everyone comes out of work around 10, 11 at night. Like a good majority of people. Not everyone, but like nightlife in Tokyo is mad and awesome. Like that's when everything comes alive in that city, is at night. And me and my wife were looking for somewhere to have a drink, but alcohol laws are very strange over there. But anyway, we managed to find this metal bar. So like this bar that plays like metal music, and it was in this tiny alleyway up some stairs, and it was almost like you had to go into the back of the building and up like this fire escape to get into this bar. So it looked a bit shady when we were going in, but when we got
that's how you know it's good.
Yes, it was. Yeah, and when we got in there, they had like a big Godzilla head in the corner of the room. They had like metal was playing like Megadeth and all this sort of stuff over the speakers, and we were like, okay, this is great, and we ordered drinks at the bar, but they had a huge projector in there, and this was a tiny room though. They had a huge projector in there, and they were playing Spider-Man 3 on the wall, and it was subtitled English because it was in Japanese. And me and my wife, we had a few drinks, and we were just laughing our heads off watching Spider-Man 3 like in this bar in Japan, because it was such a strange, surreal moment.
Amazing.
Goth Peter too. Yeah.
I think I actually have a picture of the Godzilla head, actually. Let me see if I can find it.
I want to go to this bar, if only because I am all about the Japanese metal scene.
Let me see. Where is it?
I just want to check out the bar because it's a bar.
Yeah, a bar is a bar.
I just discovered Sitting Chair, which is such an amazing band. Like System of a Doubt meets I don't even know, like Pantera.
Wow, that's a combo.
I know.
He said Sitting Chair. I was like,
well,
you just found out there were sitting chairs.
Negan Itsu, but that means sitting or people chair or sitting chair.
Oh, okay.
Just trying to see if I can.
You're not a big metalhead, are you, Jack?
I used to be.
Oh, tell us about Metal Jack back in the day.
Okay, I've been to Download Festival, which is in the UK, 5 times. If you ever look that up, it's on Donington Racetrack. There I've seen I've seen Metallica when they played their original Master of Puppets album. It was the 20th anniversary in 2006, and they played the whole album from start to finish.
Oh, you bastard! You bastard! I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah, there I've also... Well, you wait. I've also seen Iron Maiden play live there. This is... They headline. Oh,
I'm
dude.
soft on Iron Maiden. I'm more of a Priest guy.
I've seen Judas Priest there as well.
Fuck you.
You can look up the years. You can look up the years I went. I went 2006, 7, 2008, 2009, and then 2013 or so. But anyway, one of my favourite bands of all time is Avenged Sevenfold, and I've seen them many, many times.
Avenged Sevenfold? Really?
Yeah. Big Avenged guy.
I
found this bar, by the way. I'm just going to post it in the stream chat.
Okay.
In the stream chat. I found this metal bar that I went to.
Oh, nice.
You found a board game?
Oh, yeah, Small Soldiers board game.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've seen Megadeth twice. I've seen Code and Cambria 3 times, which is also another one of my favourite bands. God, name them. I've probably seen them. I've seen Korn once, but here's the interesting thing about Korn. Seeing Korn live. This was at Download, and the lead singer was sick. And the band was there, but he was in hospital. So he did a call to the main stage and made an announcement that they were going to have guest singers. So each song had a different singer. One of them was Corey Taylor singing Freak on a Leash. One of them was the lead was Matt Shadows from Avenged singing one of the songs. They had a guy
I'm
from
pretty sure I
Disturbed.
watched this concert on YouTube.
That I was there in the crowd then. I was watching that. Got to watch that live. And I was like, I've never seen Korn ever again since, but it was interesting that I got to see that.
Tell me you've seen Motorhead at least once.
I've seen Motorhead. I've seen Motorhead
God
twice,
bless
actually.
Lemmy.
I've seen Motorhead twice, actually. They came to my home city and played in the place where they play music here.
So which is the best Metallica album? Let's throw some gauntlets down.
Oh, well, I'm not a huge Metallica fan, so Master of Puppets is probably my favourite album because it's the only one I own. Or owned.
Featherweight, that's fine.
Yeah.
The best one being, Saint Anger, am I right?
Hey, there are some bangers on Stanger, my friend.
I got Alien. Oh my god, man, our conversations have gone so far. Went from alien octopuses to death.
I mean, there are more than a few Megadeth songs about all these topics.
Yeah. No, I used to listen to all that sort of stuff. I was also into pop punk and all that. I liked everything, really. Not everything, but like I dabbled in everything. There was no band from any genre that I didn't like specifically, but like to say like I liked all the genre, that's not remotely my thing.
You dig out some bluegrass, American country?
Okay, bluegrass, American country. There's who's Paisley? That guy Paisley. What's his name?
I mean, I'll give you a point for trying.
Yeah, not every genre. I'm being slightly hyperbolic there, but no, metal. Yeah, I was always into metal. I liked a lot of bands that no one ever heard of as well. That's the thing. When I was a teenager, I was like, oh, lots of bands. Every Time I Die was a big one.
Man, Coheed and Cambria was that band no one had ever heard of until like 2010, and then everyone knew them and had all their back albums for some reason.
Yeah, see, I got into them in around 2005, and they're still one of my favorite bands. I absolutely love. No World for Tomorrow is my favorite album of theirs. That's a freaking banger of an album.
That's how I know you're a real fan. You can name a distinct album.
Well, yeah, me and my wife listen to it on our car journeys like almost every single time we go in the car. On a long journey, it has to be played.
It's not normally my bag, but man, that guy can belt out some notes.
Have you listened to No World for Tomorrow? I think you might like it. It's
I've only skimmed the surface on Coheed and Cambria. I should give the album a full listen through, but
I think you'd like it. Like the thing is, they're a concept. Because they're like Terry Pratchett. They've made their own world building, so every song is about that world and characters and stuff. And I have no idea whatsoever about any of the characters or the world building or anything. I just like the songwriting and the way the songs sound. So there's all this backstory to their characters and stuff, and they even have comic books and that. And I'm just like, I'm not that deep into it.
Really, wow.
I just like No World for Tomorrow. It's a good album, really good album. And
Gojira's kind of been heading in that direction lately.
Oh, who else? God, I'm gonna need to look up these. Download. You can look up these with me, guys. You'll see. Right in Download Festival 2006. We'll go there first. This is my first, and then look up the
Probably
lineup.
2007. So we could all
So
like
okay,
a
yeah.
year.
Tool, Guns N' Roses, Deftones, Trivium, Stone
Tool's
Sour,
a good
Alice
get.
in Chains, Funeral for a Friend. Seen all of these. I can tell you
that's
who
awesome.
I saw Cradle of Filth briefly because we watched like one or two songs, but we were on our way to some other stage. The Prodigy. I went to that stage and watched The Prodigy.
You had to sit through Stone Sour. My apologies.
I saw Stone Sour a few times.
You got some Alice in Chains out of it, though.
Yep, I saw. This was when bloody Enter Shikari were on like a really small stage somewhere. I saw the first band we saw here was Gay for Johnny Depp, which is right down the bottom. They were playing on a tiny stage right next to like this skateboarding rink that people like skateboarding on.
Oh, I bet you there was some kind of crazy punk fusion shit, weren't they?
I can't even remember. I just remember they were kind of crap. Throwdown was another band I saw there. Okay, I think that's Gojira played there. Like they're there.
Oh, Gojira, so good.
I think that's it for that year. What else did I see in 2007?
2007. There's My Chemical Romance, Iron Maiden,
Oh, yeah.
Megadeth.
So My Chemical Romance, Korn were headlining the second stage, and we really wanted to go watch them, but they the tent was rammed for Korn and MCR. I don't really like My Chemical Romance. Like I don't think they're like. I wouldn't want to say they're bad or anything. I just don't really care for their music. But when we went and watched them, and we sat on a hill because the guys I was with, they're like hugely into like Iron Maiden and stuff, and we were just laughing because the crowd was so small and their set was pathetic for a headliner. We felt quite bad, but anyway. Who else
I don't
did
have
see?
a problem with MCR themselves, but MCR bitches are the worst.
Okay, so this
I mean, that was me in
weekend-
high school, so
So I can
I
tell you
loved
this
MCR.
this weekend I saw MCR, Velvet Revolver, Wolf Mother, Dragon Force, Megadeth. Oh no, actually I think we skipped Dragon Force and Wolf Mother. We went from Megadeth.
I feel bad for Dave Mustaine if Dragon Force went on stage before him.
So between Megadeth we saw Enter Shikari and Paramore. Who else did we watch on that day? I think that was it. And then the Saturday I saw I'm going to go bottom to top here. I think I saw I think I watched Bring Me the Horizon because that was when they were really small. I was like, okay, I want to see them, and I thought they were rubbish, so I walked out of the tent. Not that I didn't. I like some of their music, but like they would just their set was really bad. Like they sounded awful, so I was like, I'm not
Did you catch Lordy when he was on stage?
I think we saw him briefly. Yes.
Oh God, what a guy, carrying on that Guar tradition like a fucking champion.
And then I think we went to the main stage. I watched a bit of 30 Seconds to Mars. We watched Bowling for Soup because they're always hilarious. And then between Machine Head, Slayer, and Marilyn Manson, I think we dipped out to go watch Motley Crue.
You dipped out of Slayer for fucking Motley Crue?
Yes.
What?
Yes, I did.
Oh man.
And then we came back to watch
I am
Linkin Park.
angry at you, Jack. I am visibly angry at you. You left Slayer. Fucking Slayer.
Well, I've never ever heard a Slayer song or listened to any of their
You
music.
should.
So that's the reason.
Death
there.
to all traitor.
And plus, you know, you go see Motley Crue, you're not really there to watch the band, are you? Let's just say that. Well, especially when you're a teenager. Down at the bottom there, what we got on the Sunday. I don't think I saw anyone on that small stage. The next
Truth
one
be
up.
told, you're more likely to get into a fight at a Slayer concert than see tits.
Yeah. I don't think I even saw anyone on the lower stage as well on that one. I think I only went to the main stage on the last day because I think maybe I was drunk the night before or something and couldn't go. But I watched Papa Roach we watched. I think I watched Chimera actually because I think there was one song from Chimera I liked, but Papa Roach we definitely watched. Mastodon, Lamb of God, Stone Sour, Killswitch Engaged, Evanescence, and then I Made, and we stayed on that whole stage all day.
Nice.
Even through Evanescence.
Yeah, well, we had to stick through because we had a good spot, so you have to sacrifice. And then 2008, oh god, I loved this year. So, okay, bottom to top, 2008 Download Festival,
Holy
Friday.
shit.
Yeah, this year was so much fun. So, and what was fun about this year was the main stage was on a hill, so the audience were on a hill, so everyone had a really good spot to watch the main stage. But who did we watch on the first day? I think we just went to the main stage and watched Seether, Kid Rock, Disturbed, Motorhead, Judas Priest, and Kiss. I don't remember going to see anyone else on that day.
It angers me how high Kiss is on that list. Judas Priest could be the headliner.
Kiss were amazing that night. I don't really listen to Kiss at all. I don't have any of their albums or anything. But I thought they were a joke. But when you watch them live, my God, they just rub off on you. And I just say like, okay, if you have to go see a Kiss live, that's the only way you're ever gonna like appreciate them. But because they're just so cheesy, but they just win you over with their good nature and their
but Judas Priest shows that up with Defender of the Faith. Didn't they rock Defender of the Faith while you were there?
By the way, look at this. Are you looking at this the lineup with me
On 2008.
Okay, so look at how Judas Priest's name is their logo, just like the headliners. Judas Priest basically played a headlining act. Like they were on for ages. So it was basically like two headliners. They didn't undersell them. They didn't come on to do like two songs. They were on there for ages. Anyway, next day, I think I watched Army of Freshmen because it was funny, and then Saxon, and then we watched.
That's a fun little band.
Yeah, they're good. Then we went and watched Ace Frehley because we knew we'd just watched Kiss the night before.
Ooh, Amon Amarth popped up there.
And then we watched... Who did we watch? I don't know if I went to go see... No, I didn't go see Pendulum. I think we... Jesus, who did I go watch on this day? I know... Oh, I might have been watching Saxon when like Bullet for My Valentine were playing and that. And then we stayed for a bit of Incubus. And then Offspring, who were just great. And then here's the funny thing, right? Because you got Lost Prophets as the headliner here on the next day. None of us wanted to go watch Lost Prophets. None of us liked Lost Prophets, so we're like, we're not going to watch them.
You were there for Coheed.
Yes, I'm definitely there for Coheed. But I'm just looking at the bottom ones. I don't think I saw any of those.
2008, was that when Apocalyptica was still just mainly doing covers?
I have no idea. I don't really listen to them. I can't remember who I saw on this day. I think we watched Blackstone. No, we didn't see Blackstone Cherry. I wish I'd seen them. I think oh no, I remember now because I remember waking up in my tent completely fucked and hearing Coheed in the distance. That's what happened. And then And then we went to go see Cavalera Conspiracy as Lost Prophets were playing. That was it. I just remember that year being good for the first couple of days, but then the last day being a bit like, woof. And then 2009, I think I went in 2009 as well. No, I didn't. I skipped 2009 because I didn't go see Slipknot. So I've never seen Slipknot. When did I go?
Here's the list of everything.
When was the year I went with my wife? It was 2014. There you go. I haven't been 5 times. It was 6 times. 2014 was the year.
Not gonna lie though, 2009 Def Leppard, Whitesnake, nice.
Yeah, and then this one. God, I can barely read this one.
Ooh, this is a really good Rob Zombie, Black Label Society.
Yeah.
Modified Linkin Park.
Basically, I watched Power Man 5000. Had to go see them. We watched, basically Rob Zombie and then Avenged Sevenfold. I can't really read the bottom ones. It's too.
Flogging Molly's fun.
There's a band.
2009 was a crazy year for movies. Oh yeah, Fanboys came out.
Sabaton popped up in 2014.
Yeah, I think Saturday. I don't know if we went to go see any of the lower bands. I can't remember, but we definitely saw Dying Fetus briefly.
Oh, that sounds like a band right up my alley.
Well, they were on the main stage, and they were just
Dying
they were just
Fetus.
as shit as they sound.
Monster Magnet was there. Monster fucking Magnet rules.
I'm trying to see where you. Oh, I haven't got a big picture of this lineup. It's a really small image. Wait,
It's under twist. It's under twist.
Oh, I've got a better one here now. Yeah. We watched Bowling for Soup, Killswitch Engage, Bring Me the Horizon, Fall Out Boy, and Linkin Park. We stayed on the main stage, I think, because we're now in 2014. Like, I'm dipping out of my like this sort of era of music for me, so I'm like not too bothered about going to see all the little bands. I just wanted to see some of the bigger ones. And then on the last day, me and my wife went to go see. I remember this. We went to go see. Where is it? Where is he? Jesus Christ, where is it?
I know. I'm not excited for the headliners on Sunday. Aerosmith, Alter Bridge, Steel Panther,
Well, we watched Aerosmith and we really enjoyed it. But again, never seen them live. So
they're not going to do badly. I don't.
No, they came out and played like they'd been playing for, well, however many years they've been playing. Oh, there you go. On the third stage down, Crazy Town. We went and watched Crazy Town.
That band is still a band?
But it was in 2014. But after them, on that stage, the Pepsi stage, there was a secret band. It's not on there now, but it's like there was a secret band come out, and it was Blackstone Cherry, and I'd never listened to Blackstone Cherry before, and we just fell in love with them. So now we like Blackstone Cherry just based on the fact that we didn't know who they were. We were right at the front, because after Crazy Town finished, everyone left to go to other stages, and we got to the front, and we're like, we'll stick around, see who it is. And then it came out, and we're like, never heard of them before. By the end of the gig, we're like, yep, okay, we've got their album. We're one of their albums, so we liked them a lot. Still do. But yeah, there you go. See, do I like metal? This is what I do. What I did.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Oh yeah. And then here's a question from David. What is our opinions on The Room and actually Disaster Room?
The what?
I like The Room. It's a really
Disaster
bad movie
Artist.
that's funny, it's good.
Oh. I think I watched that once, and it was on YouTube, but someone else was watching it like live. This was before they had like a big crackdown. Like someone was live streaming watching The Room. And then and so I've only ever watched it with someone laughing around with it with their friends watching it, which is, from what I could gather, funnier than probably the film itself. If you can't watch it on your own. You have to watch it with friends.
Yeah, you can't watch it alone.
And I didn't find it that funny. So I was like, I was just watching it because everyone was talking about it.
Excellent.
Why are you doing this to me, Linda?
That's the thing. The best thing that came out of those movies were the memes.
Yeah.
You have to see it in a sort of like theater setting type deal where you're seeing it with other fans, because there's actually like a tradition that goes on when you watch the movie. Like, for example, there's like a bunch of spoons in random places in the movie, so every time you had seen it, the crowd throws plastic spoons at like the screen. There's like this whole thing.
Oh, that's some Rocky Horror Picture Show stuff.
Yeah, they do it for the room. I remember we did that in college. It was just something else. Like, the movie was the movie, but like I liked the experience of watching it in a crowd more.
There's a cinema in
watch
the
that
UK
movie
in London called the Prince Charles Cinema that does that. They have the room showing there.
Mm.
And they throw all the spoons at the screen and stuff. That's where I went for the
disaster artist.
That's where I went for the all-night Alien marathon. Was there?
There's
Nice.
there's a theater in Uptown Cleveland that I believe the first Saturday of every month they have a live showing and quote unquote reenactment of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, if only Rocky Horror Picture Show didn't suck.
Yeah.
How dare you just offend my mom? I'm kidding. Yeah, go ahead and dislike it.
I only watched that for the first time like a year and a bit ago or so, like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I was like, I do not get this whatsoever. I was like, this is.
Yeah, it's not made.
I've got a weird story about that, because I remember I was downtown one time, like late at night. It was like out with some friends, we're like partying and whatnot, and at the time there was something going on for Rocky Horror Picture Show, like this big event, and they were like hyping it up and whatnot. And so you have people on the street giving out these flyers in the shape of lips, and this one dude just walks up to me and he's like, "You look exactly like one of the characters. Are you doing this for the show?" And I'm like, "What? No, this is just me. Like, I don't know." And that's literally how I got to check out Rocky Horror Picture Show, because it's like, okay, apparently there's a character that looks like me, so let's check it out.
I don't even want to do the math to figure out which character you are.
I'm gonna look it up now just to make sure, because I don't remember the name.
Rather than Rocky Horror Picture Show, everybody go and watch Heavy Metal.
Oh, Heavy Metal's great.
Thank you. Heavy Metal is fantastic.
Oh, the animated movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one.
Mm.
The one with the World War II bomber. That one was great.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just a fucking hour and a half long music video with all the greatest hits from Blue Oyster Cult, Deep Purple, and fucking everybody.
Yeah.
If they made that today, who would be doing music for it? Would it be like some Nicki Minaj?
Now, okay, I can give you two answers. There's the right answer, who should be doing it, and then there's the people who would be doing it. Yeah, probably Nicki Minaj would be on that fucking list, I have to say.
Ed Sheeran.
I feel like because it's
Heavy metal.
heavy metal, I feel like there would be more modern heavy metal bands, if anything.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
Yeah, but like, what modern heavy? Well, I mean, I could pull out some fucking brands that would fit excellently with heavy metal, but even trying to stick to that genre, who do you put there unless you go in a new direction? Like, I guess you've got to get in. You've got to get into like the European experimental shit fast.
yeah.
Because there's like nothing great on the American scene other than like underground bands who are more or less doing the same sort of things I've heard before, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really I don't really listen to many bands anymore. Like my friends have their own bands that I like their songs. Well, they're not even like proper bands. Like one of them's like solo, or whatever. And then you got like Drew, who did the song that's in Dino-Defenders.
Yep. Yeah, I like that song.
But that was for his band. But,
Like, who's a big metal hit on the radio now? There are no big metal bands on the radio now.
no, that will come back. Because it always comes round. You think it was huge in the 80s with Iron Maiden and stuff, and then it dipped out in the 90s. You had Nirvana and stuff, but it wasn't like... It was different. And then you had a resurgence. Yeah, you had a huge resurgence in the 2005 era.
It happens. Some music dies out for a bit, then it just gets resurrected.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, just
Speaking
right now.
Speaking of music, I was listening to the Godzilla vs. Kong soundtrack before coming on stream. Oh my god, that's my favourite MonsterVerse soundtrack. Like I haven't looked up any of the track names or anything because I didn't want any spoilers if there's potential spoilers in there. But I was listening. I haven't finished it yet though. But I was listening to it on YouTube, and oh my word, it's like someone took the Godzilla soundtrack, like from King of the Monsters, the Kong Skull Island soundtrack, the Blade Runner 2049 soundtrack, Tron Legacy, and just put them all in a blender. And I was just like,
oh my god, that sounds good then.
the amount of
Sounds really good.
the amount of digital that's in it, like you can tell there's no real orchestra, like it's all done on computer. But I don't know, I really like it as a style, and I like that Godzilla's theme tune has changed because it reminds me of like the old Godzilla films where like he'd come out and the music would be different. It wouldn't be like the classic dun 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 dun, like that wasn't in every Godzilla film back in the day.
Now you've got a good surround sound system, right?
Well, I listen to it in the headphones I've got on my head right now. But yes.
Well, then you're probably going to have to go back and watch Godzilla vs. Kong with headphones on, because I assume sound is just going to be a huge impact on that. Like,
I have an issue. I'm a father now, so I can't watching films with the sound turned all the way up at night, especially when the baby's sleeping. Yeah, I can't. So I'm sure I will enjoy it properly one day when I can have the sound all the way up. When my wife goes out for like a while with the baby, then I can be like, oh, I'm going to watch it now with the sound all turned all the way up. But it's going to be a while before that happens.
Bring out the subwoofer.
Yeah. Put it in the baby's room.
Theaters, right?
Not in the UK, not for a while.
Okay.
So I'm watching it thanks to Dr. Tanistrophius here. Giving me access to something. So anyone watching in HBO Max, shush, you didn't hear anything. I'm not watching it illegally.
Dr. Tanistrophius.
Who's Dr. Tanistrophius? I have no idea. Some secret, the hidden one, yeah, exactly. Helping me out.
Is he related to that fake thing called Star Wars?
Star Wars?
Baseballs?
You mean Spaceballs? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant, sorry.
Spaceballs. The sci-fi franchise.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. I'm really hyped. All I want to see is Big Monkey fight Big Lizard. That's all I care about. I don't care about the human characters.
Got a lizard.
As long as there's enough monkey fighting lizard, that's all I care about.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of it. And like maybe an occasional kaiju fighting someone else. I want to see my boy Rodan though.
Yeah, I want to see if there's going to be some sort of like follow-up on him betraying Godzilla.
Yeah, I know. I this Rodan be the Starscream of the Godzilla franchise. I really want to see him try to fuck up Kong, and he gets his ass kicked and dies.
Yeah, Kong bites his wing off like he does the Pteranodon.
Just picture him as a Starscream character. I don't see him as a, oh, he's so no. I see him as literally a backstabber.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Beast Wars. What was that? Like Tyrannosaur, Pterosaur. It's like him. It's just a giant Pteranodon that was like Starscream.
I want to know if they're also going to follow up. Well, actually, just to add to what you were saying, yeah, I can hear the guy who does Starscream's voice. If Rodan had a voice,
In Rodan, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be that screechy voice. I wonder if they're going to continue the thread that the humans are a Titan in this, because I liked that aspect of King of the Monsters, that we were actually a Titan. It's just, instead of being one big organism, we're, many little ones.
Yeah, we're like small.
Yeah, and I want to know if they're actually going to like build off of that going forward in this
Doing
new
better
one.
than Evangelion did. Shit.
What did that do?
They revealed that humanity was the last angel, and that's their word for giant monster in that show. And it ended on a psycho trip with the main character masturbating over the second lead character's comatose body, and then having a psycho trip about his mother and a giant robot.
What?
What the hell?
Anime.
Anyone who knows Evangelion, tell me any part of what I said was a lie. I summed up that movie straight. I summed up that show. I summed up that damn show.
There's so many
That's
things
the
I
guy
hear
who
about.
made
Like,
shit.
and
That's the guy who made Shin Godzilla.
yeah, there's so many things I hear about, like Evangelion, and then whenever I hear anything about them deeper than what I already know, it's like I'm like, okay, sounds horrible.
I wouldn't say it's horrible. It's definitely it's an experience.
It was a show intended for 11-year-olds in the first 10 episodes, and then by the final 10 episodes, it was definitely intended for adults. With some of the things they do with some of those characters and some of the reveals.
Yeah.
Like, just a whole 20-minute sequence of a young lady crying about her period in a bathtub. In the ruins of Tokyo 3. She just sits in a bathtub, has her period, and cries.
So that's the part where you're sitting there going, I thought this was about giant monsters.
Yeah, I know. I thought this was about mechs trying to fight kaiju.
And she doesn't
creatures.
she doesn't even evolve from that moment. She doesn't change as a character from that moment. And I'm not watching the rebuilds. I'm not. Screw you. No.
I don't watch
Yeah.
anime, so I can't say anything.
Yeah,
So
I barely watch any
Like,
anime either.
Just let me stick to my simple Gundam shows. They don't stray too far from the big robots shooting each other with big guns.
yeah, I mean they're not really that far from like the tree, but yeah, you're right. Just leave it as such. I mean, hell, if freaking Power Rangers can go for 23 seasons, I think anything's possible. I mean, hell,
Japanese
SpongeBob's
one.
still going.
Unfitted Rogue, Berserk earns it, okay? The tragedies in Berserk build to the main character. Evangelion is an execution of characters not changing for the worse, to the point to where it literally causes the apocalypse.
Mm.
And Big Shark, the
Tails.
Japanese Power Rangers have been going on since like the 70s.
Oh yeah, I know. They'll like I'm talking about the American version over here. I'm not talking about theirs.
Oh no, I know, but it's just like the
Their shit's
longevity.
probably
They
better.
could do it. Oh, it's
No, of
much
course
cooler.
they can do it. Yeah, it'd be much cooler if they actually did. I don't think they will try to at least bring it to what it. I mean, I'm sure there's a fan base of Power Ranger people still.
Oh, there is definitely. Like,
Oh.
I used to be a part of it. Like, there's definitely the fans, and it's like, but you're always gonna have like those elitists that are like, oh, the Japanese version is superior. But like,
It's far superior from this.
yeah,
and
but it
such.
makes you
Yeah.
feel shit for liking Power Rangers in the first place.
Yeah, no, like it makes you feel shit for liking something that's kind of what it's a little bit different. Like it's like low bar. It's like bottom of the barrel. Like
Yeah, at the end of the day, a lot of it was just a straight
scrappy.
adaptation.
I did
There's one YouTube channel that
like it.
almost ignited my interest back in Power Rangers, the Sixth Ranger. He's got a good positivity to his channel, and the best way I can describe him, he's the Clayton Fioriti of Power Rangers.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I
I did
watched-
watch that Power Ranger movie, that reboot. I really liked it.
Same.
It was bad.
It wasn't horrible, and it did something interesting with Rita.
Yeah, yeah. Like that had potential. Its Goldark could have been a little bit better, but
No, I kind of dug the
Good.
Goldar just being a molten gold monster.
I don't know. I always like the like lion face bad guy. So it's like for me, it was like to get
yeah,
used
I know.
to
I
it.
like that Goldar.
Classic,
His voice.
classic Goldar rules. Did you get Power Rangers growing up, Jack?
Yeah, I watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when I was a kid, and I even there's a picture of me in a newspaper that my mum actually gave me the other day because she was clearing out her house. She was like, "Look, it's a picture of you at World Book Day, and I'm dressed as the Red Ranger."
Oh, you need to post that.
Yeah, I'm like a kid. I'm 4. Like one of my friends is next to me dressed as Sherlock Holmes. There's all these characters as book characters, and I'm there as the Red Ranger. Like, yeah, it's a book character, right?
Coloring books.
Yeah, I used to love the first series.
Make my
My
monster
favorite.
grow.
My favorite one was when I was a kid was the Red Ranger, but as I got a little bit older, I liked the Green Ranger, and then
I've always
as soon as the movie came out, I was so excited for that. But then when they changed animals and became like a frog or whatever, I was like, I'm out. And that's literally where I
Yeah.
left Power Rangers. That's where I left
I-
Power Rangers after the
That-
movie. I didn't even like the movie. I was like, this is shit. And then I
I
left
don't
when I was a
know.
kid.
I
was
like
a
the movie for that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Wedge and I have started a bracket competition for 90s movies, and I have a feeling Power Rangers is going to go farther than people expect.
I'm surprised you didn't put the Page Master on there.
No, it's there.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
really?
on
Was
it.
there?
Yeah, we're aiming for top 90 movies of the 90s.
Hey, it's funny that you mentioned Page Master because I bought that on Laserdisc literally the other day. It's coming in the post as we speak, and
no
Nice.
shit.
I haven't watched it I don't think I've ever watched it. I think I saw maybe clips of it when I was a kid, but I've never actually sat down and watched the whole film.
You've
my
probably
wife-
seen what's his name is like reviewing it.
Yeah, my wife was like, "Oh, I watched that all the time as a kid," and I was like, "And it's out of print. I don't think you can actually buy it on DVD or anything." So I found it on Laserdisc.
No, I don't
and-
think you can.
Yeah, but on Laserdisc,
Like a
it's all over
bootleg?
eBay. So I was like, okay, I've got a
Nice.
working Laserdisc player. I'll buy it and we'll watch it. So that's what we're watching next week as one of the movies. So I'll report
Yeah,
back.
I think you'll like it. That film used to scare me. The jackal scene.
Well, don't spoil it.
Include-
I have no idea.
We will include your data in the bracket. Page Master's one of those classics I just absolutely forgot about until we were looking at a list of 90s movies last night. Thanks, Google. And I'm like, oh, I remember this little gem.
I think
Has anyone put
Page
Home
Master
Alone
got
on
a.
there? Has Home Alone been added to the list?
Yes.
You
Home
put
Alone's
Batman
on there.
Forever on there?
Yeah.
Review the list.
Good.
There are a lot of things that are on the list.
And speaking of
Alrighty.
Page Master, I think it got a UK Blu-ray release because when I looked it up, it just says Blu-ray UK. There's no like US. And for Amazon, it says there's only the import available.
Is that for Page Master, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would buy it on Blu-ray, but let me just see. What the hell is going on in this chat? I just saw Mr. Burns saying anime. Ugh.
What, really?
Yeah.
Mr. Burns?
I just put I posted it there because like talk about the the period in the bathtub.
Most
like,
90s movie. Here we go.
Yeah.
Most 90s elimination round. Do any of these films currently on the top book should be regarded as outstanding features of the 90s?
Iron
The-
Giant.
This
What's
list
that?
this list that you're looking at now was compiled based on all the movies that Wedge and I felt were timeless, that their subject matter, what they're doing, their soundtrack goes beyond the 90s. And while they may be great movies, they don't epitomize the 90s in the same way the Goofy movie might.
Wait, you've got on here Waterworld.
Yeah, I know. Do you have? Where's Good Burger?
It's there. It's there.
Is it?
Yeah,
Hold
it's
on.
on.
I'm gonna try to find the number. 102.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
It was a late seed.
Wait, I'm not seeing any of this.
Oh my god, My Cousin Vinny. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but
Judge Doom,
timeless.
The
But
Big
it's a-
Lebowski.
Wait, is there
Again-
like one? Is there like one place where you've listed all of them?
I have the bracket that I made for the tournament. But we have to
should-
just wait for the late entries. I'll post it here, so you can check it out.
Post it in
It should be
the
the-
stream. The
It
stream
should be the
chat.
first link on the form.
Cop. Oh, Kindergarten Cop. I remember that.
Harrison asks Jack, if you had an idea for Alien Covenant sequel, what would be your idea?
Yeah, I wanted to get to that. Ridley Scott has died and left you in control of the franchise in his will. It's
Okay,
on
Okay.
your shoulders
okay,
to ride the ship home, Jack.
all right. So it would follow a
Disney requires Predator to be in this movie. Go.
no. It would. Okay, so it would be following a rescue mission. So a ship specifically. So okay, in every Alien film, you've had the truckers, you've had the Marines, you've had the prisoners, you've had the scientists, you've had the explorers, is one way of putting it in Prometheus, and you've had the colonists. Now you're going to have the rescue team, like think firemen in space, right?
Yeah, Coast Guard.
Yeah, Coast Guard, but like space Coast Guard kind of thing. But they've picked up David's message that's repeated at the end of Covenant, and also all the information from the Covenant. Well, not all of it, but like they've picked up all the weird stuff. Anyway, they've been tracking this ship because they know something went wrong because it never arrived at Origai 6, and it was the people on Origai 6. When they got there was no settlements or anything. So the film would actually open up, much like Prometheus, going over all these landscapes and everything. But it would actually be on Origai 6, and there'd be no civilization or anything. But then it would go over a mountain, and you would see a ship on the ground, and people taking, measurements or whatever, saying, yeah, they're not here, there's no signals or anything, like we've scouted as much as we can of the planet, they're not here. Okay, so that checks out. And then they pick up the signal that David sends, and they're like, okay, what's going on with this? They basically follow David, and what they discover.
I want to stop you. Do they have a synth with them?
Yes, called Edward. So they.
Oh, you're continuing the naming tradition.
Yeah, the silly naming tradition. It has to be. They discover as they're on their way to they pick up David's signal. So nearby this planet, they find that the signal's not too far away. So they follow the signal, and what they discover is a juggernaut-shaped ship, something like the Juggernaut, but slightly different, attached to the side of the Covenant. But the Covenant is almost overgrown with the engineer's sort of ship. It looks like it's kind of half eaten. And there's also another ship next to it, an actual Juggernaut ship, and that's attached to it as well. So it's this, a threesome of ships just floating in space. And they board it, and basically all hell breaks loose. Of course, the aliens are there. The colonists have all been turned into aliens, but there's engineers who've been turned into aliens as well there. They also discover David is there, but instead of David as we know him, he's attached himself to the biotech he's like half engraved into the wall of one room. This is like towards the climax of the film where they find David. They're trying to get like think Dave the Machine in 2001: A Space Odyssey kind of thing.
I see where you're going with this.
But instead they need to find where David is, and he is like half melted into the wall, but he's like connected to all the tech and he's controlling a lot of the stuff. Not the aliens though. I didn't want him to be like going, get them aliens or whatever. He's just part of this world, but his mind is expanding because he realized that their technology, he can even infiltrate their technology and grow over things. So why the ship is growing over the Covenant is because David can infiltrate it, and he's trying to become the perfect organism himself this time because he realized he was flawed with the aliens. He realized he actually didn't really come up with that idea. He wants to be something new, entirely new. So that's what he's trying to create with himself when they get on there. And basically what you find out is the characters have been running around inside David, essentially. Like they're within him. While this is happening, another engineer ship turns up with some basically the same exact equivalent of the humans, the rescue engineers, who turn up, and they are there to exterminate everything that is there. Now they don't have like big laser guns or anything to like take out the ship. They have to come on board with like these like respirator gas masks, and they look like the elephantine things, and they come on and they have these. They don't have laser guns or anything like that, but they have these. I'm thinking like a gas, you know, like when they fumigate something. It's like they're coming in and they're using biological warfare. Like think the black goo. Like they'll put a canister in the room and they'll eject this gas and it will just start killing everything, including humans. So basically you just follow a group of characters who are trying to survive all this. Basically, there you go. There's my pitch. And it would end with the engineers basically taking David. So it would end with the engineers capturing David, dismantling him from where he's attached, and taking him, like just this head. There you go. He could just be the head, screaming, "Ah no!" Like he's just on his own. He's got no way of getting out of the situation. And the engineers just take him off, and you don't know what. Well, you guess he's going to die.
Yeah, we never know what happens to him.
They put him on a spike like the Predators.
Yeah, you could literally have them stick David's head on a spike on an uninhabited planet and just leave him. So he's just on his own.
Shit.
So he's just forever
Or even
alone.
worse, you know, they do the whole cross thing like Jesus. They just have his body on there.
Or no, he's Prometheus. You have the crow peck out his liver over and over again. But
Oh yeah.
But that's the idea of the head being left on there. But that would be my idea. Something like that.
That would work.
Now the murder gas, does it kill the aliens as well? Or
It kills everything.
Okay.
It kills everything. So I don't want the engineers to team up with the humans. I wouldn't want the engineers to do anything like that. It'd be I wouldn't want a peace treaty between the engineers and the humans. It would just be the engineers fuck up the
maybe
aliens.
Even David in desperation tries to get the humans on his side, but he's already burned that bridge way too hard.
Yes.
Peace, no peace.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
there's a script I wrote for Prometheus 2. Let me see if I can find it. I started it. It was like the first 50 pages. And it's up online. People can read it.
Ooh.
Let's go get Ridley Scott right now.
But it's
Tell
funny
him to
how
make
much
him
is in... So I wrote this before Covenant was even announced. I'll put it in the stream chat. Actually, for example, I'll bung it in the Aliens chat. So if you jump over into the Aliens chat,
Alright.
you can read it. It's called the first 50 pages of my Prometheus 2 script, which is called Paradise. And you'll notice there's a lot of... it was written back in October 2012.
Hey, I've got related titles. Jurassic Park 4.
Yeah.
Nice.
But this one has Edward in it. It's got the Samaritan, which is a rescue ship going to find the Prometheus. Yeah, and you'll get the idea when you read it. It's probably not well written because I wrote it ages ago. But it's the same idea. They find a ship with an engineer ship attached to the side. Oh, what? You have to get reading a preview?
But Jack, where's all the fighting?
No, well, towards the end of the script, but I didn't get there. Oh, there's a scene in this where like one of the guys, the engineers capture him. They put him in this like bath that's like raised from the ground, and he's like strapped down in this thing, and they put one of those urns above his head on this plinth, and then the black goo just seeps out and goes all over him, like completely covers him, and then he emerges later on. He would emerge later on in the script as yeah, kind of thing. But like later on in the script, he was planned to emerge, like be revealed as like an alien, essentially.
That sounds badass.
It does sound badass. It sounds like you having He-Man in there too with that slime pit shit. There was a toy like that where you could just goo your monsters and they will just bow down to Hordak. Awesome.
I swear there's a where is it? I don't know if I can I download it? Oh, for God's sake, this is my script. I don't want to sign in. I want to just download my script. There's a lot of similarities to this and Covenant, and I'm really annoyed that I can't. Yeah.
If you want, I have an account. I could just download it and send it.
Do it now. Come on. I love good old Arnold.
Alright, hold on. Let me just log in.
Yeah, I have an account as well, obviously, but I can't remember.
Are you sure you can't fit an enormous space laser into that script? Because we've got a huge space laser division here at Disney.
I think I remember...
Are you sure you can't have any strong female characters in this movie either?
There is a strong female character as the lead in this script. There you
Okay,
go, Disney.
we're
You're
set.
happy. You're happy.
There's your check. Alright, start working on it.
There was, I think at the end of this script, what I was originally planned for this script was you were going to see the engineer's homeworld. But it wasn't like a planet, It just looked like a giant umbrella in space. Like a biomechanical umbrella shape just floating through space. That was their homeworld. I didn't want it to be a sphere. So I was thinking like this giant umbrella. Like, it was trying to be all weird. And it was
Would you want me to put in the alien tab or stream chat?
Put it in the alien one, because...
Alright, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, so let me try and... I'm just try and work out what bits were like Covenant. Cheers for doing that,
I will be right back.
Oh yeah, they get Shaw's message. Okay, so do you remember at the end of Prometheus she leaves a message, doesn't she? She says like, "This is Shaw, final report of the Prometheus." Well, there's more to this message. So I wrote that she says, they get the message and it says, "I mentioned previous report. We set out to LV-223 to find clues to man's greatest question. The artifacts Charlie and I found back on Earth proved we had humanoid creators. But what we found here was not just our creators, but our judges." Well, that's what David 8 theorizes. It should say just David, really, if I was to rewrite this. Edward says David 8 was an android, a previous version of myself. So in this script, Edward was a David. So there was going to be two Davids. Instead of Walter and David, this was Edward and David. So that was like Covenant. So
Alright.
This is why when I watched Covenant, I was like, I like this. Because it's basically what I was writing.
Nice.
Shaw says
You
so
knew
much...
you foresaw the future.
Or they read this script. Shaw said...
Oh yeah, they read it.
Shaw says...
Got some.
So much has happened
Wait.
over the last 3 days. I miss him so much. I miss a lot of them. I'm exhausted. Static hiss. No one will know of the captain's bravery and how he saved Earth from an evolutionary Armageddon. Yannick, Chance, and Ravel, we owe them everything. David is still operating. I managed to crudely tape his head back into place before we go to where they came from, Paradise. I'll patch him up with this instruction after we've static hiss. Their weapon, the black liquid, is an unpredictable byproduct of something. Stay away. Don't bring it back to Earth. Please, more static. Peter Wayland was on board, hiding from us. He's dead. Sure, final report of the vessel Prometheus. The ship and her entire crew are gone. If you're receiving this transmission, make no attempt to come to its point of origin. There is only death here now, and I'm leaving it behind. It is New Year's Day, the year of our Lord, 2094. My name is Elizabeth Shaw, the last survivor of the Prometheus, and I'm still searching. So that's like the complete message she put out that I wrote. So she fixes up David, so just like Covenant as well.
I love that detail as well, sticking with Year of Our Lord, Anno Domini, fuck Common Era.
I'm just trying to find other bits where it's like...
But yeah, that seems interesting.
No, legit, I'm like into that.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, this is what I want.
Just trying to find where is it.
Are you ever gonna revisit it? Maybe like fully develop it into like unnamed like Alien sequel or whatever?
No, I would want to redo it to be a Covenant sequel now.
Yeah.
Because it could very easily be
If it
start
was a
on
Covenant
LV2.
sequel.
Yeah, it could. I'd want to redo it from the beginning. Where is it? So here you go. The Samaritan. Everyone is stood around Borif's flight seat as she types away at the computer. The atmosphere is tense as the computer beeps and clicks back. I'm on page 24, by the way. They pick up another signal. You're right, it's a different signal, says Borif. We honed in on a voice recording back on LV223, but this is an intimate transition from reference 185.35. Pause. That's out in space. Edward, someone's out there. Sound familiar? Because this is like when they've received the signal. It's an SOS from the Prometheus, says Cross. Just like Shaw in Covenant. Borif, according to the computer, yes, but we saw the ship in pieces on the planet. All ships are fitted with an emergency signal box or ESB. However, if it got off the planet, they could have taken the ESB and sent out a distress call from an altogether different location.
We've got enough people in the Discord. Let's put on a production.
Yeah, there's some things I would change here because it's like Borif says, "Oh, I forgot." But it's like, okay, that's just like answering questions for the audience there. Where is it? Yeah, so there's an interesting thing. Sarah says she's in a lab with Edward, the android, who's basically another David, just called Edward. She says, "Are you okay, Edward?" And Edward's like, "I'm always okay." And then Sarah's like, "Looks to me like something is on your mind." And Edward says, "I must admit, with the new information regarding Mr. Wayland's death, my thoughts are becoming unstable." Sarah flinches, disturbed by Edward's response. Sarah, something in your wiring? Edward says, "I think is what you would call loneliness." Sarah asks, "You feel alone?" Edward says, "I wouldn't have thought so." Sarah stands up and sits beside Edward. Sarah says, "I remember when I first saw the posters for you guys. I couldn't believe humans had cracked artificial life. I asked myself, what is artificial life? If you can process and be aware of your surroundings, you're no different to us. Maybe it's natural that you feel alone by the thought that your creator is dead." And Edward says, "But how would you feel if you discovered God was dead?" And Sarah's like, "I don't think God can die. Besides, it's your God too." And then Edward says, "I see." They both sit there for a moment, and then Edward, in deep thought, says, "So have you made your other discoveries from Dr. Shaw's recording?" And she says, "Just one." He said they were heading to Paradise. But anyway, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I'm just pointing out some of the interesting parts, skipping over a lot of it.
No, that was interesting. Like you're taking a moment for someone to humanize in an in-depth way with the android and dealing with that sort of loss.
Trying to get to the bit where they're on the ship. They're using an umbilicus cord, a foam sealed one, to get inside. They have to punch through one of the walls. I don't know. Man, I haven't been painting. What the hell am I doing?
I was about to say.
I've basically finished this frame, but that's why I'm... There was going to be a bit in this where, like, Shaw... So in this script, Shaw was an alien. But there was this whole scene where, like, she's, like, this new type of alien that I designed. And she's curled up in the wall in this one room where the characters have set base camp, and she's been there the entire movie. Like, it looks like a part of the decoration on the wall of this juggernaut ship. And then I was going to have this moment, kind of like what's her name in Aliens? Like, all of a sudden, the characters are going to be talking as they're discussing it, and slowly in the background, blurred, I was going to, like, out of focus, it was going to say, you see this alien creature now start to climb out of the wall, or like the what was thought to be a statue starts to come alive, and then grab a couple of the characters, and that was going to be Shaw. Like, Shaw was going to be an alien in this.
Kind of dig that. Give her a little bit more in-depth send-off, and just she dies.
When Covenant, technically, she becomes the aliens because he uses her to make the aliens. But in this, yeah, she was literally going to be an alien, like, converted. Where is it? Where's the bit where they find David? That's what I want to know. Yeah, here it is. Edward stands connecting David's head to a large power box. He carefully works the complicated network of wires and tubes as Jones and Sarah stand guard. They've locked themselves in the laboratory with fire axes and makeshift weapons. Sarah, the airlock was locked. Jones says, I triple checked. Whatever happened, the cockpit is trashed. Edward, how much longer? Edward says, almost there. Sarah, we need to know what happened here on LV-223. Everything. If we're going to survive this. Jones, you think fast, I'll give you that. With an electronic pop, David's face recontorts to a neutral expression, his eyes looking slowly around the room. Jones, Sarah, and Edward step back as the mangled android awakens to his new surroundings. Edward, hello David, I'm Edward. David says, where am I? Edward says, you're on board the Samaritan, it's a rescue vessel. We're sent here to find the Prometheus. David says, I like your redesign. That was my Alien Free nod. Oh, I like your new haircut. Jones, David, you need to explain what happened here. David, did you find her? Jones and Sarah look at one another. Edward does not turn away. Jones, her, said David. David says, Elizabeth Shaw. No, we haven't. Do you know where she is? David eyes looks at Sarah and grins. A grin slowly appears on his battered face. Shaw is dead. Jones says, what happened? David says, what information do you need? Edward, we need to know everything aside from what happened on board this vessel. David says, we intercepted by another craft. Shaw and I were going with them to Paradise, but communications were misguided and Shaw was taken. Oh, that was it. David didn't turn her into an alien. The engineers did. If I remember correctly.
I think David did work better, though.
Yeah, he seems to be a bit more good in this. David says no, but she returned. They said, do you know where? No, but she returned 24 hours later, but by then the Shaw that had started this journey into the unknown was gone, replaced by what you would call a monster. Jones says, so you're saying Dr. Shaw turned into something? That these beings killed her and changed into something else? David says, exactly. We call them engineers. What Shaw and myself learned when we decoded their language on the walls of this ship was that they had discovered a life form millions of years ago that changed everything for them. They worshipped this life form and tried to control it. Yeah, look at me, like, coming up with the aliens are still something found deep in space. Trying to retcon that.
Yeah, I see.
See, but then Covenant won me over with well, we don't know if the engineers actually manufactured it, do we?
No, it seems like they're
They
made
worship
by
it.
someone else.
Mm.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, you get the idea.
Yes.
But the whole idea is, it's these ships all connected together, floating in space. It's kind of amalgamation of all these ships, and they're all trying to deal with that.
God help us, we're in the hands of engineers.
Exactly.
In the hands of Octo people, man. They're gonna become aliens.
Do you think the engineers are the breadth of that society? Like the whole society is just more or less more engineers? Or do you think that it's a society with different roles?
Oh, yeah, I think that.
Like there's
definitely.
the engineer, we like perhaps there's a team of mechanics, botanists, and they're slightly evolved differently, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, like they're bigger
Well, see,
each
I
other.
like the ambiguity of it, but the way I've read it is because in Alien Covenant, when we're on Planet 4, as it's known, the engineer city that we see, like, I need to listen to Ridley Scott's commentary again because I can't remember if he says that when David turns up in the ship that they are celebrating because it's like one of their astronauts returning home or something like that, or whether they're praising them like a god, because I can't remember if they're actually meant to be like the engineers or if they're just another planet that they've been seeded by engineers.
I'm 99% sure they're some sort of servant race, or however in line with whatever the engineer's grand design is. But
yeah, they're like a part of the clan.
They are visually distinct from engineers.
Yeah, because the engineers look like they've been genetically enhanced to survive in space. That's what they look like to me. Like they've been messed up. They've been designed to do the job that they've been given. You know?
Put that into human terms. Elon Musk and Joe Rogan go to Mars and start a super colony of ultra warriors and come back one day and all their children are mega buff.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm done with this frame. I know that took a while, everyone. I'm sat quite in the dark as well.
There's a real darkness in familiarity, and that's kind of why I like the design of the engineer overall, because it's humanoid to the point of identifiability or personability, maybe anthropomorphability. I don't know what the proper term would be, but just like Kong, he's got those big sad monkey eyes, and you just want to hug him. And there's a moment where the engineer's a little pouty, like, "Oh, what's going on? Oh, it's okay, big guy." It would have been that movie would have ended totally differently if someone hugged that dude.
He'd have just injected a vial of black goo in your back, and you'd have been done. I love the engineers. They were such a great addition to the Alien franchise. And the thing that gets me is, and it's the most obvious thing about them, but the thing I absolutely thought was genius was making them look like a living Roman statue. Like, that aesthetic just creeped me out when I first saw it. I was like, oh, that's like, I don't know, it gave me the willies. I was like, I don't like this. Like, I guess it's because I don't know what it is about it. It's because it's like something from our past, like these old Roman statues, and then to see something that's like alive walking around that looks like that,
like Uncanny Valley type thing.
Yeah, but there was just something about that design choice that actually terrified me when I first saw it. I was like, oh. Like, I mean, that's gone a bit now because I've seen the behind the scenes and you see all these goofy images of him smiling in that outfit and stuff. So it's kind of like, okay, it's not really scary anymore. But when I first saw it, I was like kind of in that opening when it's like on the cliff tops and it takes the robes off and stuff. I was just like, this is, what the hell? This is the Alien franchise? Like, the hell is this thing? Like, and even though it was like humanoid, I genuinely felt this unnerved terror. It was weird. But that's what sold me on them. I was like, okay, Ridley Scott's got me like on the edge of my seat already, and all I've done is seen one of the things. And it's not even like it meant to be a scary scene. Just the visual look of them, I thought they nailed that. Something that looks alien but totally human. Okay, I think I'm done with this.
More so than a lot of other designs on the market.
Yes. Yeah. They could have been very easily little green men with big eyes. They could have been ETs.
Shout out to Signs for pulling that design off.
Yeah, I mean, part of me was like, those aliens. I didn't quite believe they could do what they wanted to do, but I went along with it with the story. I was like, you're telling me these aliens want to come to Earth to kill humans and harvest them, but their water hurts them, but humans are 75% water. Like, are you sure you want to be harvesting us and you're naked?
I don't know. If we go to Titan, flesh melts in those hydrocarbon pools pretty quickly. So, I mean, I don't know. Given the sort of barriers we face going to any other planet, giving that kind of equal footing to an alien, in retrospect, I'm like, okay, I think I see it in a new way now.
I just thought, like, it's like the War of the Worlds problem. As much as I love War of the Worlds, it's like you think they would like do some research before coming to Earth, if they're that smart, that they can build spaceships to travel across great expanse of space and stuff.
That's why Independence Day is genius, because they respin that narrative for a computer virus.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Alright, guys.
Right, yeah.
It's time for me to get going.
Yeah, I'm
It
just
was a
gonna
lovely stream.
pull up.
Fun chatting with y'all.
Yes, that was fun.
But I gotta go. Alright, see you guys.
Yeah, see you later, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Right.
Have a good day, dude.
Yeah, and cheers for the tips.
And you all as well.
Yeah, so we got 2 frames done. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Hank and Victor, Jude and Kate. Bish, bash, and bosh. Not bad, hey?
I'm gonna need to make an emoji for that, Hank.
With this Hank. There you go, I'll zoom right in so you can get a good look at him. There you go. He's basically saying, bitch, are you for real? I'm kidding. That's not what he says. He has a nice, astute British accent. So I'm now touching up his eye.
Well, I am enlightened to know that you're not a plebeian blind to the miracle of metal.
No. But it doesn't say that I like other music, which you might be like, what? Why do you like that? But even like now, all I listen to is like classical film scores, and if I listen to bands, it's Coheed. I'm probably going to listen to the Godzilla vs. Kong soundtrack a lot now, but yeah, I don't really listen to much music like that anymore.
Harrison McCarthy suggests calling the stream heavy metal anime.
I'm calling it heavy metal anime octopus aliens.
Oh, that's a totally different genre.
Heavy octo metal.
Alien octo metal. Yeah, right, okay, I'm done. I was just touching up some things. Right, anyway, guys, thank you for coming on. And thank you, everyone, for watching. And I will see you guys all next week. Hopefully, yeah. I'm not busy. Yeah, I'm doing this next week. Yep. All right. Bye.
Rock on, everybody.
Bye. See ya.